Horace Clark sets a step in. There's a slight delay as the catcher Price is checking his glove. Or his mask. He's got his glove under his arm and he's checking his mask and adjusting the strap on the mask. So now Horace Clark is ready to step in. Yankees winners last night behind Ron Gronkowski by a score of 5-0. The big blow, a 3-run homer by John Ellis. The Yankees got 4 runs in that first inning. First pitch of today's game is low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Horace Clark. A beautiful day for baseball, and right now the breeze blowing gently out towards center field. Next pitch to Clark, swung on and popped out of play, foul behind home plate. Price took the mask off and gave it a look. Not too much room in foul territory here at Tiger Stadium. At least not directly behind the plate. There's some good room as you go down the right field and the left field line. 1 ball and 1 strike. Next pitch is a curve in there for the call strike, and it's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Horace Clark. The windup and the pitch way outside, and it's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yankees and the Detroit Tigers. Series all even at 6 apiece. Horace stops a line drive to deep left, going back at Chase Brown on the warning pass. Takes a one-handed tag right near the auxiliary scoreboard, and he got that right in the webbing of his glove. He did not play that ball perfectly. He got a bit of a late start on it and went back as fast as he could go and struck out his glove, and he got the ball up in the webbing portion of the glove, and he still had about a yard or 2 to go to the fence. A faster outfielder might have gone right to the fence, turned around, and tried to get it. However, it doesn't matter how you get him as long as you get him, and Brown made the catch, and there's 1 out. 1 up and 1 down, and it brings up Thurman Munson. Munson is batting .303. Thurman with his highest average of the season. Started off 1 for 30. Now it's a .303. The pitch, bunted foul. Strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. 1 out in the top half of the first inning. Horace got good wood on that ball. Here at Tiger Stadium, it's 340 down the left field line, 325 down the right field line, 365 in left center. That's the best shot that a right-handed hitter has right out there. The pitch to Munson is fouled, and it's 0-2. And it goes 400, and it's 440 to straightaway center. Right field foul line is a good spot for the left-handed batter. 325, and there's a slight overhang to the upper deck out in right field. No balls and 2 strikes to Munson. Miller's next pitch is outside, and it's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck for the Yankees is Roy White. Munson at .303, the leading hitter on the lineup. Danny Cater at .302, and then Roy White at .298. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Munson. The pitch fouled out of play into the upper deck. And a youngster sticks out his left hand and has that ball go right off it with a slap. And he's shaking his hand right now, but he wound up getting the ball. He hustled after it, and when the ball flopped off his hand, he wound up with it anyhow. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Munson. Miller's next pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 3. Serves him in under the hands, and Munson strikes out. First strikeout for John Miller. 2 outs for the Yankees in the first inning, and it brings up Roy White. White is batting .298. He has 20 homers, 6 triples, and 29 doubles. Roy White with 90 RBIs to lead the ball club. Pitch to Roy White is high and outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. Next pitch to White. Inside for a ball. It's 2-0. This was the inside corner. 2 balls and no strike. John Hiller against Stan Bonson. White batting right-handed. Here it comes. There's a high pop-up. Out towards shortstop. Gutierrez is under it near the second base bag. Still waiting, and he makes the catch. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on at the end of the half inning. The Yankees jumping and the Tigers coming up.
The New York Yankees are proud to announce that all you fans in the Otsego, Shenango, and Delaware County areas can now make your ticket reservations for Yankee ball games as a service of the Oneonta Yankees. Now, if you're attending a game in Oneonta, you can do it right there at the box office or from the comfort of your own home by either phone or mail. Oneonta Yankees will be happy to take care of reservations from 1 to, well, you name it. By mail, just drop your ticket order and check to Nick Lambros, General Manager, Oneonta Yankees, P.O. Box 267, Oneonta, New York. Or call Nick at 432-6326. We'll repeat that number, 432-6326. If the lines are busy, please call Sam Nader, the president of the Oneonta Yankees, at 432-3151. That's 432-3151, and Sam will be more than happy to accommodate you.
Dan Bonson takes the mound now for the New York Yankees. And we'd like to remind you that this program is authorized under rights granted by the New York Yankees solely for the entertainment of our audience. And any publication, reproduction, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express consent of the New York Yankees is prohibited. Taking a look at last night's and yesterday's scores for you quickly. Yankees shut out Detroit 5-0 on Ron Klimkowski's first Major League shutout and complete game. Baltimore nipped Cleveland 4-3 in 11 innings. Minnesota over Chicago 5-4. Milwaukee 4, Kansas City 3. Oakland 3, California 2. And Washington and Boston were rained out. So every game played in the American League yesterday and last night, with the exception of the Yankees and the Tigers, was a one-run ball game. In the National League, the Cubs took 2 from Montreal, 3-2 and 5-4. Second game went 10 innings. Pittsburgh shaded the Mets 3-2. Cincinnati 11, Atlanta 6. Philadelphia 9, St. Louis 7. Dodgers 3 and Houston 2. San Francisco 3 and San Diego 2 in 10 innings. So a lot of close games yesterday in both leagues. Ready for the bottom of the first, and Dick McAuliffe steps in. Bonson's first pitch. He swung on and fouled back, strike one. No balls and 1 strike. McAuliffe hitting only .235, but he has 11 home runs, 21 doubles, and 49 RBIs. He was taking some special batting instructions from Coach Wally Moses before the ball game. No balls and 1 strike. Next pitch to him, swung on and hit foul outside of first, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Dick McAuliffe. McAuliffe was up in the big spot in last night's game, or as big a spot as he had. Yankees were leading 5-0. But Dick was up with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 5th inning and popped up. And after that, Klimkowski had very little difficulty. The windup and pitch. Slow curve is high, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. McAuliffe, Stanley, and K-Line, the first 3 Tiger hitters. No score in the ball game, bottom half of the 1st inning. Yankees playing McAuliffe straight away, and Murphy shallow in center. The 1-2 pitch. Slow curve is high, and it's 2-2, so Bonson has missed on 2 in a row with a slow curve. It's been a pretty good indication so far this year of Bonson's effectiveness. When he can get that ball over, it makes his fastball even more effective. 2-2 the count. The next pitch to McAuliffe. Fastball hit in the air into short left. Michael, the shortstop, is back easily, and he makes the catch, and there's 1 out. 1 up and 1 down. Mickey Stanley will be the batter. Stanley is hitting .255. He has 44 RBIs, 12 homers, 9 triples, and 21 doubles. Yankee infielders Ellis at first, Clark at second, Michael at short, Danny Cater at third. Roy White at left field, Bobby Murphy in center, Ron Woods out right field, getting the sun right now with his glove. Catching is Munson, the pitcher Bonson, and the ground ball to the left of Michael. He has it near second, his throw to first, got him, and there are 2 outs. So 2 balls hit to Michael here in the bottom of the 1st inning, 1 in the air, the other on the ground, 2 outs, and it brings up Al K-Line. K-Line batting .278, 70 RBIs, 16 home runs. K-Line playing first base in the ball game today. K-Line did not play last night. Bonson's first pitch to him is outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. No score in the bottom of the 1st. No base runners so far in the ball game. Bonson's next pitch, high for a ball, and it's 2-0. K-Line reaching the stage of his career where he doesn't often play a night game before a day game. He'll either play the night game and not play the day game, or vice versa. 2-0 the count on K-Line. Here it comes, and there's a high top fly hit down the left field line in foul territory. I don't know whether anybody can reach it, and they can't. It falls among Michael, Cater, and White. Ball on the field, but right among the three of them. 2 balls and 1 strike. And Kaline was hustling it out all the way. He was down to first base, and he comes back. 2-1 the count on Kaline. The Yankees solidly in second place in the American League East. They are 6.5 games ahead of the Boston Red Sox. 7.5 ahead of the Tigers. 2-1 to Kaline. Bonson's next pitch is high, and it's 3-1. Kaline broke in with the Tigers in 1953, and he's played for no other ball club. No minor league action at all. The 3-1 pitch to Kaline, swinging a high pop foul out of play. 3-2 the count. Kaline, a native of Baltimore, Maryland, but he picked the Tigers to sign with. And he's been with them ever since, from 53 right through this season. Lifetime batting average coming into this year is .302. The 3-1 pitch, swung on and popped foul out of play. It's 3-2. Ball going back into the upper deck. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Kaline signed a major league contract at the time Baltimore was still in the minor league, still in the International League when Kaline finished high school and signed with the Tigers.
3-2 the count on Kaline. Bonson's next pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and he struck out Kaline. First strikeout for Bonson. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. At the end of 1, the Yankees nothing and the Tigers nothing.
Hello, fans. This is Frank Howard of the Washington Senators. We'll be in Yankee Stadium for the last time this year on 3 consecutive nights, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, September 21st, 2nd, and 3rd. The stadium is a graveyard for a right-handed hitter like myself, but we'll be taking dead aim on those left field seats. Hope to see all of you at Yankee Stadium Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, September 21st, 2nd, and 3rd.
That's right, Big Hondo leading the charge into the stadium as the Senators come in for their final series against the Yankees this year. You know, the Yankees still trail Washington in the season series. The Yankees have won 7, and the Senators have won 8. So the Yankees will be trying to capture that series. And speaking of playing clubs in the season series, going into action today, the Yankees and the Tigers all tied up 6 games apiece. The Yankees won 4 out of 5 at Yankee Stadium, but they've won only 2 out of 5 so far here at Tiger Stadium.
We go to the top half of the second inning. The game without a base runner so far. It'll be Danny Cater, Johnny Ellis, and Bobby Mercer. Before we do, we pause for station identification.
This is Shannon in the morning, coming your way Monday through Saturday, 5:30 to 10, here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81, WGY Schenectady.
The first pitch to Danny Cater. He swings and fouls it back, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Cater is batting .302. 6 home runs, 72 RBIs. Had an RBI last night in the first inning. Yankees winners last night, 5-0. No balls and 1 strike. Hiller's next pitch is outside, and it's 1-1. 1-1 to Danny Cater. On deck is Johnny Ellis. Next pitch to Cater, high, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 to Cater. Tiger infield is Kaline, the first baseman. Jones at second, Gutierrez at short. That's Dick McAuliffe at third, Gates, Brown at left. Ricky Stanley in center, Jim Northrup at right. The 2-1 pitch, Cater takes high, and it's 3-1. So Danny in a good spot right now, 3 balls and 1 strike. He's a magician with that bat. He's up there at home plate, just as if he was waiting for the bus to come. Nice and relaxed, and the ball comes, and he just strokes it. Loves to hit the right center. 3-1. Just as casual as you can be up there. The pitch on its way, swung on and fouled. First base side into the upper deck. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 to Danny Cater. Danny now lives in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. A lot of good Yankee fans up in that area. In fact, the fans of Williamsport gave Danny a day at Yankee Stadium earlier this year. The 3-2 pitch. Cater slings and fouls it down the right field line. This one back up into the upper deck. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pittsburgh failed to score on the top half of the first inning. Sitting around before, I told somebody, hey, Pittsburgh's winning 8-7. And they said, 8-7 already? I said, yeah, here it is. Pittsburgh 8, UCLA 7. That was the first quarter score. The 3-2 pitch is fouled back, and it's still 3-2. But the Pittsburgh Pirates 0 in the top of the first against the Mets. I see Joe Paterno's Penn State club isn't fooling around. They got 28 points in the second quarter against Navy. The 3-2 pitch. Ground ball hit up the middle. Jones to his right. Can't get it at the base head. Danny Cater on at first base with a single. Cater started off this season hitting well, and he hasn't stopped. That'll put him at 304. And here's Big John Ellis. Ellis batting .245. Ellis has 7 home runs and 24 RBIs. Killer goes to the belt. The pitch to Big John. Inside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Beautiful day for baseball here at Tiger Stadium. Cater on at first. Killer to the belt. Delivers to the plate. Fouled back. 1 ball and 1 strike to Johnny Ellis. Ellis started off the season 4 for 44. Since then, he's been averaging over 300, but everything counts, and his average is 245. Next pitch, slow curve, line drive, hit down the left field line. It is a fair ball, rolling down into the corner. Danny Cater is at the shortstop position. Now it's third, they're going to wave him in as Brown has trouble coming up with the ball. Cater scores, and it's a double for Johnny Ellis at a 1-0 Yankee lead. That ball appeared to hit a dead spot off the fence, and it didn't take the bounce that Keith Brown was looking for out there, and it bounced sort of straight out towards the field, and he was waiting for the angle, Carom, and it just didn't have that angle that he was expecting. So no error involved. It's a double for Johnny Ellis. But the bounce that the ball took enabled Danny Cater to score. So it's 1-0 in favor of the Yankees, and John Ellis continues to hit. Here's Bobby Mercer. Mercer batting .245, 23 home runs. So the Yankees lead at 1-0. First pitch to Bobby. He bunts down the third base line. This is a beauty. It's a hit if it's fair. It is rolling and goes foul. McAuliffe let it roll. There was no way he was going to get it. Mercer had a little bad luck in that ball never did get on the grass part. It just stayed on the skin portion and eventually rolled over the foul line. No balls and 1 strike. That was the honey. But it's a foul ball. No balls and 1 strike. Now McAuliffe is playing in, I would say, a step in front of the bag and well off the line. No balls and 1 strike. Mercer may be tempted to drag one now, where Jones is playing on the second base. Here's the pitch. He takes the bunt. A throw to second on 1 bounce. Ellis is back. And a nice save by Gutierrez. His Price almost threw it away. That time Mercer was squaring around as if to sacrifice. Count is 1-1. Now we'll see what happens. The pitch to him. He swings and fouls it right up over our heads. Everybody ducking. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Somebody over our heads muffed it because the ball came right back. 1-2, the count on Mercer. Yankees leading at 1-0 here in the top half of the second inning. Hiller's next pitch. High, and it's 2-2. A single by Cater, a double by Ellis, and the Yankees lead at 1-0. The next pitch. In there for a called strike, and Mercer is called out on strike. So Bobby trots on back to the dugout. 1 out, and the batter, Ron Woods. Woods, a former Tiger, is hitting .229. He has 7 home runs, 3 triples, and 5 doubles. John Ellis on second base. Woods challenged with the fastball, and he doesn't get a strike one. The Tigers have been giving him nothing but hard stuff. 0-1 the count on Woods.
little drama developing here at the ballpark, Bob. Two very attractive young ladies sitting down here in box seats, and there are two young men sitting behind them. Obviously, they were not together when the game started, but now...
Oh,
which seat?
Frank doesn't miss anything, folks. No balls and one strike. The pitch is fouled off. 0-2. I'll tell you, there's a lot of things going on in the ballpark, which you really see when you come out to the park. A lot of people talk about watching games on TV, but when you come out, you can look at what you want. TV, you got to look at what we show you. 0-2 the count.
That could be the start of a very lovely friendship. You never know.
Yeah, I guess so. 0-2 the count. Next pitch. High and inside. Woods goes down, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count on Ron Woods. Yankees won them. The Tigers nothing here in the top half of the second inning. John Hiller comes set at the bell. The pitch to Woods. Outside, it's 2-2. Detroit's been a very colorful town of late. In the hotel that we're staying is a Shriners convention. Have you noticed the Shriners, Frank?
Yeah, I saw a couple of them. A couple of thousand, I guess.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, they're really having a good time here in Detroit, aren't they?
I don't think they sleep. Pitch is strike 3, and Woods is called out of a curveball. So Hiller has gotten 2 Yankees in a row on called third strikes, Mercer and Woods. Gives him a total of 3 strikeouts. And it brings up Gene Michael. Michael batting .217. 2 outs for the Yankees. Johnny Ellis on second, a run in the bank. It's the Yankees 1 and the Tigers nothing here in the second inning. Pitch is in there for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike. Yankees have beaten the Tigers 4 out of 5 at Yankee Stadium, but they've lost 5 out of 7 here at Tiger Stadium. And some of those losses, unbelievable. Lost 2 in the 9th inning on home runs, 1 by Willie Hoyt and 1 by Bill Freehan. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. And actually, the Yankees lost when they felt they had a chance to catch Baltimore. One time we came in here and we wiped out 3 in a row. Those were 3 big losses for the Yankees. June 30th, July 1st, and July 2nd. It actually started the Yankees on the one slump that they had all year, the one bad slump. The 0-2 pitch, swinging a foul ball. Look out. That one went right over the box, I think, that Frank was talking about a moment ago. 0-2 the count. I hope nobody was hurt. Stands rather close to the field here at Tiger Stadium. Everyone gets a good deal of the volume. 0-2 to Gene Michael. Hiller delivers. Line drive, base hit out in the left center field. Johnny Ellis around third. He'll score. Gates Brown up with the ball. Throws on into second. And the Yankees lead it 2-0 as Gene Michael gets that 2-strike pitch and lines it for a base hit. So it's 2-0 in favor of the Yankees. And it'll bring up Stan Bonson, the Yankee pitcher. Bonson is batting .159. He has 11 hits and 69 at-bats. Tigers having a lot of trouble of late. Yankees quickly with the lead. The pitch to Bonson, swinging him at strike 1. He tried to check it. No balls and 1 strike. Tigers are now 2 games over the 500 mark. Next pitch is low, and it's 1-1. The Tigers at one point on July the 21st were 14 games over 500, so they've been going downhill. They are now only 2 over. The pitch to Bonson in there for a called strike just above the knees in the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They must have a new man on the scoreboard because he's been having trouble getting those balls and strikes up today. 1-2 the count on Bonson. The next pitch, slow curve, strike 3. So 3 Yankees are called out on strikes in the second inning. But in between the strikeouts, the Yankees got 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors and a man left. At the end of an inning and a half, the Yankees 2 and the Tigers nothing.
How would you like to win a season's box to Yankee Stadium for the 1971 season? Or one of several other great prizes, such as a year's supply of Schaefer beer, 2 tickets to a Giants football game, a Panasonic 4-speed portable stereo phonograph, or one of 20 other prizes that will be given away in the Yankee Fan Appreciation Day sweepstakes. Now, you can enter very easily. Just send your name, address, and telephone number, if you have a telephone, on a postcard to Yankee Fan Appreciation Day sweepstakes.
Post Office Box 1970, Bronx, New York 10451. Entries must be postmarked no later than midnight Tuesday, September 22nd. Complete rules of the sweepstakes are available upon request. The lucky winners will be chosen by a random drawing at the stadium on Fan Appreciation Day, September 26th. No purchase is necessary. You don't have to be present to win. Yes, sir. Quite a day coming up. Fan Appreciation Day at the Yankee Stadium. And for those on our network, we'll remind you once again that you certainly are eligible to enter the Yankee Fan Appreciation Day sweepstakes. Send your name, address, and telephone number on a postcard to Fan Appreciation Day sweepstakes, Box 1970, Bronx, New York 10451. At the end of one inning, Pittsburgh nothing and the New York Mets nothing. Meanwhile, the Chicago Cubs scored 2 runs in the top half of the first for a 2-0 lead over Montreal.
Jim Northrup leads it off in the bottom of the second inning for the Tigers. The line, the pitch by Bonson, outside for ball 1. The Yankees leading at 2-0. Bonson now comes down off the mound, and he picks up a little tuft of grass that was bothering him and throws it behind the mound. 1-0 the count. Next pitch to Northrup. The Gray Fox swings and lines a base hit in the right field. Ron Woods up with the ball, throws on into second, and it's a base hit for Jim Northrup, and he becomes the first Tiger base runner of the afternoon. So Northrup on at first, and it brings up Gates Brown, the left fielder, hitting .245. Brown with 22 RBIs, 3 home runs, and 2 doubles.
I think it's a great nickname for Jim Northrup, the Gray Fox. He's only 30 years old, but he is almost completely gray.
Well, the Fox got a hold of that one, and he comes up a base hit. Gates Brown, the batter, deep in a crouch. The pitch to him. Curveball, misses inside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. Gates Brown looks like a barrel is the only way you can describe him. And he bends over at the hips. He also crouches at the knees, and he presents a very little target. The next pitch is in there, as Bonson found the range, and it's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Next pitch to Brown is low with the fastball, and it's 2-1. Hard to see how a man can hit from that stance, but he does all right. This year he's hitting .245. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bonson comes set at the belt. Northrup with the lead. The pitch is low, and it's 3-1. So he's presenting a tough target to Stan Bonson. 3 balls and 1 strike. Bonson gets the sign, goes to the belt. The pitch in there for a strike. It got the outside corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count on Gates Brown. He has walked 18 times, struck out 12 times. Full count. The runner's going. The pitch swung on ground ball. Hit Sharpie to second. Clark up. He's going to play to first in time. And safe at second goes Northrup. Clark gave a look-see at Northrup and decided that discretion was the better part of valor and made the play to first base.
And they stayed out of the double play by going to the hit and run with Gates Brown up there, because had Northrup not been going, that would have been a perfect double play ball.
1 out. Gene Michael was over to cover on the steal attempt had it been a strike. Had Horace Clark been the covering man, that ball would have been right through for a base hit. 1 out, and Dalton Jones, left-handed batter. Jones takes high and away, ball 1. Jones is a line drive type hitter, but he's only hitting .224. He has 5 home runs. He should have 6. He hit one out of here with the bases loaded, but passed one of the base runners and only got a single on it. Would have had a grand slam. The 1-0 pitch, high for a ball, and it's 2-0. That, I guess, was the oddity of the year in baseball up to this point, outside of having women running around the field kissing people. Bases were loaded, and Jones hit one into the upper deck in right field, and then ran by one of his teammates. I think it was Dick Wirth. The 2-0 pitch, fouled, and it's 2-1.
And the strange thing is, Dalton Jones has never hit a grand slam home run.
2-1 the count. Well, it's one of those things that, in a way, he probably got more publicity out of than it was just an average grand slam. They'll be remembering that for years here. Remember the day Dalton hit one and passed the runner. 2-1 the count. Northrup with the lead and the pitch, swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jones was with the Red Sox last year, was traded to the Tigers to Tom Magic. And Magic went to Kansas City for Mike Fiore. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jones, when he hits, it's normally a line drive. Pitch to him. Swinging a long belt foul. Oh, boy, that was goodbye if you straighten it out. Well back into the upper box seat. You have a lower deck and upper deck, and then they have some sky view boxes. And then the top of the roof, and that one was in the sky view. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Stuff like that always make people think that Jones should be a good hitter. Next pitch. Foul to left side, and it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yankees 2 and the Tigers nothing. Tigers with Northrop on second base, and 1 out. Bonson looks in to get the sign. He and Jones having a little battle up there. Now Bonson steps off the rubber, picks up the rosin bag, and now gets back on. Yankees leading it 2-0. Bonson to the belt. The pitch, Jones swings and fouls it back. So the battle continues. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Yankees and the Tigers will go at it again tomorrow. And it figures to be Mickey Lolis against Steve Klein. One of the Tiger problems this year was against the Western Division. They were only 36 and 36. The 2-2 pitch, swinging a foul back. And that has been the Yankees' strong point for games against the Western Division this year. Yankees won 46 and lost 25.
No, the Tigers only won 1 Western Series, and that was from Milwaukee 8-4. They split with California, Chicago, Kansas City, lost to Minnesota, and split with Oakland.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Jones. It's been a rough season for the Tigers. But they have the type of personnel that you never know what's going to happen next year. We talk about the great year the Yankees have had and the bright future, which of course they do have. But you never know. And the Red Sox or the Tigers who wake up. The 2-2 pitch, slow curve, base hit to right field. Ellis gets his glove on it, deflects it, and that'll mean that Norfolk can score easily. Norfolk comes in standing as Lawrence Clark has to retrieve the ball. So Dolan Jones gets a base hit between first and second. I believe Norfolk would have scored anyhow, but at the last minute, diving for the ball, Ellis just picked it with the edge of his glove and floated up, so there was no chance to a play at home. But a great try by Johnny Ellis.
It was. Ellis wanted to keep that ball on the infield, keep that run from scoring. He made his best effort. And as you said, Bob, if the ball got on through the right field, I think the base runner, Northrop, would have scored anyway.
So it's a 2-1 ball game. And it brings up Jim Price, the catcher. Price is a right-handed batter. He's batting 172. First pitch to him, curve on the outside corner, strike 1. So it's 2-1, and the Tigers get their first run of the series. It was shut out by Ron Klimkowski last night. No balls and 1 strike. Jones with the lead, the pitch. In the dirt, blocked by Munson. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count on Price. 1-1 the count on Price. Dan Bonson looks in to get the sign. Comes set at the belt. He delivers. Price fouls it back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bonson has 1 strikeout. He got K-line on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning. One ball and 2 strikes to count on Price. Bonson delivers. Line drive, hit for a base hit in the right field. Down to second goes Jones. He's going to try for third. Here comes Woods' throw, relayed by Michael Nottington. He is safe. The throw was off the line a bit, and Michael cut her off and then threw it to Cater. As Jones took a big gamble, and he made it.
That's the second time in the series. They did it last night that a Detroit Tiger base runner has taken the extra base on Ron Wood. And Ron has a good throwing arm. But last night he held the ball a little bit too long, and Jim Northrup took the extra base. And now Dalton Jones, who is not exceptionally fast, takes the extra base.
So the Tigers have just been drilling that ball in the right field here. They've had 3 singles. 2-1, the Yankees still lead as the tying run is now at third with 1 out. And Michael Monson and Munson getting together to decide what they'll do in the eventuality of the ball hit back to the box and how to play the infield. Cesar Gutierrez, the shortstop, is about batting .245. And his claim to fame this year was the afternoon in which he went 7 for 7. That's his number 7. Yankees 2 and the Tigers 1. All the scoring here in the second inning. Bonson comes set at the belt. Jones on third, Price on first, ready to run. The pitch, swinging a foul back, strike 1. Gutierrez ran up on that ball and fouled it back. 0-1 the count. Bonson may not be quite as fast as he has been of late. The Tigers have been getting a lot of foul balls. He's had trouble putting that fastball by anybody. And if they're just getting a piece of it, fouling it off, and then finally drilling the ball here in the second inning. No balls and 1 strike. Pitch is fouled back, and the count is 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Bonson has 106 strikeouts this year. That is third on the Yankees. Stottlemyre with 119. Peterson was 109, and Bonson, counting the one in this game, 107. No balls and 2 strikes. Gutierrez aims that bat out at Bonson, facing him. Now he brings it back as Bonson goes to the belt. The pitch to him, high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Look where Mercer's playing Gutierrez. He is really in shallow. Gutierrez fell from the center field. Mercer's got a lot of running to do. And it's 440 to straightaway center. A 1-2 pitch, swing and a little fly ball down the right field line. Woods can't get it, but it's foul and going back into the seat. 1-2 the count. Bobby Mercer likes to play a shallow center field as a rule, but this is a bit of an exaggeration even for Bobby.
That's a big adjustment Bobby has made over last year when he first went to center. He played quite deep. He's worked on it and learned how to go back on the ball. Of course, it isn't often the ball will be hit over an outfielder's head. The majority of the base hits in the outfield are in front of the fielder.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch, Gutierrez swings and fouls it again down the right field line. I'll say this, one of the pleasant surprises, I believe, for the Yankees this year has been the center field play of Bobby Mercer, and also his arm. Of course, Bobby, as well as everybody, has been disappointed with his hitting, only hitting .245. But he has really worked at becoming a center fielder, and he's a pretty good one. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Gutierrez. In fact, the Yankee outfield play as a rule has been good. 1-2 the count. Runners off first and third. The pitch. Inside. Just missed. 2-2. No activity in either bullpen. The Yankees lead it 2-1 in the bottom half of the second inning. The Yankees getting 2 runs in the top half of this inning. On a single by Cater, a double by Ellis scored him, and a single by Michael scored Ellis. Tigers have had 3 singles. They have first and third and 1 out. 2-2 on Gutierrez. Bonson to the belt, he delivers. A hot shot for a base hit in the center field. In the score is Jones. And the runner's place going for third. He is versus through, and he is out at third. Cater took the throw behind the bag, then reached up in front of the bag. Price didn't like the call. He claims he was in there with his foot. And he's arguing with Bill Kunkel. And we're just talking about Bobby Mercer's great arm, and now he gets another assist.
That's right. That's his 16th assist from center field this year. Price arguing the call down at third base with Bill Kunkel. On the throw, Gutierrez wisely went on to second base. He didn't even slow down around first, figuring on a throw to third. So the Tigers have been doing some base running, but that time it backfired as the Yankees got the lead runner.
And now we're going to have some activity in the Yankee bullpen as Mike McCormick gets up. Pitch to Hiller, the pitcher, is in there for a called strike. That was a big play by Mercer. As he throws out Price going to third. It almost looks as if the Tigers have instructions to go to first to third on everything into the outfield. The 0-1 pitch. High for a ball. He was out by plenty at third, and the throw was not perfect. And Cater took it behind the bag. He went back to play it and make sure that he had it the way the ball was hopping. Would have been a very short hop to take up on the bag, so he went behind the base, got it, then stepped up and still had time to put the tag on him. Pitch is high, and it's 2-1. So I was amazed to see Price go, but then again we were surprised to see Jones go, and he made it. These have been hard-hit base hits. The Tigers have just haven't even stopped around second. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's a tie game. Johnson pitched to Hiller, swing and a miss. What a fake Gutierrez made off second base that time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the Red Sox are at it again. They lead Washington 5-0 after 2 innings up in Boston. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the score, runner on second. And the second inning. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Bonson gets the strikeout to end the inning as he strikes out Hiller. The second strikeout for Bonson. The Tigers tie it up. 2 runs, 4 hits. No Yankee errors and a man lost. And at the end of 2, it's the Yankees 2, the Tigers 2.
Why do people argue? Not because one person steps on another's toe, or because you say something one way and someone else takes it another way. People argue from a lack of love. So, in our own small way, we try to make up for that lack by putting love into our beer. How? If the green we want isn't in Kansas, we'll get it somewhere else. That's love. If the domestic hops aren't up to snuff, we'll import them. That's love. Anything we have to do to get Utica Club the way we want it, we'll do. That's love. And no one argues over love.
Well, the Tigers tie it up. And could have had a bigger inning had it not been for Bobby Mercer's throw from center field to third. His cut down Jim Price trying to take 2 bases on Gutierrez's RBI single up the middle. So now we go back to the top of the Yankee batting order. And before we do so on Yankee baseball, we pause for station identification.
This is your guy, Hyde. Join me for your kind of music, weekdays, 3 to 7, here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81, WGY Schenectady.
Horace Clark swings and misses on the first pitch as we start action in the third inning. Clark lined out to left field his first time up. He's hitting 250. Next pitch to him is a little bit low, and it's 1-1. So each team got 2 runs in the second inning. A lot of action in that inning. A lot of base running. Exciting plays. Here's the pitch. Swinging a foul at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oh, there's Frank with those binoculars again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We have a little soap opera going behind the dugout, as Frank mentioned earlier. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Clark. Hiller into the windup and the pitch. Swinging a little bouncer hit out towards shortstop. Gutierrez over. He runs into the third baseman, and there'll be no throw. Oh, McAuliffe was going to try and cut the ball off, but his angle was bad, and he cut Gutierrez off. I don't know whether he would have gotten Clark anyhow. It's a base hit.
I think that's the first time I've seen 2 infielders run together on a play like that.
One of those chopping balls. The grass here is very low in the infield. It's a little bit thicker in the outfield. And that ball just was bouncing like a jackrabbit on a couple hops. And McAuliffe didn't really start fast enough to cut it off. And also the bounce. It wasn't bouncing just right so that he could cut it off. And he ran right into Gutierrez as he was stealing the ball. So Clark will take it. And the Yankees have some speed on at first base as Munson steps in.
We will be
Clark's back. Munson struck out his first time. He's hitting 302. Pirates of the Mets scoreless at the end of 2. The Cubs doing their thing, 2-0 at the end of 2.5. They lead Montreal. Pitch to Munson, swing and a miss. 0-1 to Munson. It's 2-2 on the top of the third. Clark with an enormous lead at first base. Hiller's got to look over there. He's looking. Throws to the plate. High and outside. Throw to first, and Clark gets back. 1 ball and 1 strike. I'd say from just being around the league this year, that Clark takes the biggest lead of anyone we've seen. 1-1 the count. He's daring Hiller right now, and Hiller throws over, and Clark gets back.
Clark is a good base stealer. He gets that big lead. He can judge his pitchers well. And I think you're right, Bob. He does take as big a lead as anybody.
Munson bumps it back, and it's foul. 1-2. That time, however, Hiller had Clark fooled. Hiller was throwing to the plate. Clark was ducking back to first. That happens once in a while.
Different base stealers have different moves. Clark likes to get that long lead, even though very often he'll have to be leaning back towards first as a left-hand pitcher especially delivers. Some base stealers like to take the short lead and get a running jump going towards second.
1-2 the count. Well, Clark has done it well. He has stolen 21, and he's only been thrown out 7 times. That's a great record. The pitch to the plate, just inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Munson. 21 for 28. Look at Jerry Kennedy. He's 17 for 22. Some unbelievable base stealing by the Yankees. 3 out of 4 for Michael. 2 out of 3 for Gibbs. Even Danny Cater is 4 out of 7. Throw to first, and Clark gets back.
A good base stealer. He gets that big lead. He can judge his pitchers well. And I think you're right, Bob. He does take as big a lead as anybody.
Munson bumps it back, and it's foul. 1-2. That time, however, Hiller had Clark fooled. Hiller was throwing to the plate. Clark was ducking back to first. That happens once in a while.
Different base stealers have different moves. Clark likes to get that long lead, even though very often he'll have to be leaning back towards first as a left-hand pitcher especially delivers. Some base stealers like to take the short lead and get a running jump going towards second.
1-2 the count. Well, Clark has done it well. He has stolen 21, and he's only been thrown out 7 times. That's a great record. The pitch to the plate, just inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Munson. 21 for 28. And look at Jerry Kennedy. He's 17 for 22. Some unbelievable base stealing by the Yankees. 3 out of 4 for Michael. 2 out of 3 for Gibbs. Even Danny Cater is 4 out of 7. Throw to first, and Clark gets back.
Comes down to pure speed. Probably Kenny and White would be faster afoot than Clark. But Horace is a very heads-up base runner.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count. He's got a big lead. There he goes. The pitch is high. The throw to second. He flies to his safe. And make it 22 out of 29 for Horace Clark. In the meantime, it's a full count on 7 Munson. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Clark picked his right spot. Even though Hiller, the left-hander, could see him, Clark got a tremendous jump on Hiller, who threw an off-speed pitch, and Clark had it stolen easily.
3-2 the count on Munson. Roy White on deck. Nobody out here in the 3rd inning, and a 2-2 ball game. Hiller comes set at the belt, looks back at Clark, the pitch, swung on and popped up. Back at second base, shortstop Gutierrez is there, looking up into the tough sun. He makes the catch, and there's 1 out. 1 out, Horace Clark on at second, and brings up Roy White. White popped the shortstop his first time up. Roy now batting .297. 90 RBIs and 20 home runs. He also has 6 triples and 29 doubles. He has been quite a ball player for manager Ralph House this season. White steps in. Last year he hit .290. Roy, 27 years old. Pitch to him. High and outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Roy lives over there in West Patterson, New Jersey. 1-0 the count. Pitch is low in the dirt, and Price has to knock it down. 2-0 the count. Yankees 2, the Tigers 2. Top half of the 3rd inning. Yankees have Horace Clark on at second base and 1 out. 2 balls and no strikes to Roy White. Hiller goes to the belt. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. It's 2-1. Hiller struck out 3 men last inning. He has 4 strikeouts for the ball game. Frank?
Montreal has now taken the lead over Chicago. Oh, the scoreboard is wrong up there. All right, Montreal has tied Chicago then on a 2-run homer by the young pitcher, Carl Morton.
Pitch is high to Roy White. 3 balls and 1 strike. So that game is tied up 2-2 now. You never know when a pennant race like that one is. Pitchers hit home runs to beat you. Anything can happen. Looks as if it's going right down to the wire. 3-1 to White. Here it comes. Swinging a ground ball wide at third. Over to get a McAuliffe in the short half. And now he throws back to the shortstop. And they've got Clark hung up. Gutierrez running him back to second to throw to Jones. Jones running him to third. Cox beyond, drags him out. Now the throw to second. And White is out. It's a double play. And for the Yankees in the third inning. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, and nobody left on. At the end of 2 1/2. It is the Yankees 2 and the Tigers 2.
Get together, show you care. Get together, give them your best share. If you don't do it, it won't get done. So give your best share to the United Front.
Together, you and me, helping thousands of people just like us who need it so desperately. Help, care, give your fair share and show you do care. Give what you can, but please give, because if you don't do it, it won't get done. Let's get together behind the United Fund. It really feels good to help.
Get together, show you care. Get together, give them your fair share. Get together, show you care.
Well, we're talking about Horace Clark's base running ability, and then all of a sudden he is in a rundown. But that time, Clark broke back to second when the ball was hit to McAuliffe. Then McAuliffe faked him out with a fake throw to first base. Clark broke for third, which was a good move, but McAuliffe had faked him out. McAuliffe and the shortstop Gutierrez and the second baseman Dalton Jones got Clark in the rundown. Clark, while being run down, was yelling to Roy White to go to second. Roy did not make his move right away, and Clark could have kept himself hung up long enough to get him there had White immediately gone to second. But as it is, it turns into the double play, and it goes 5-6-4-6 for McAuliffe to Gutierrez to Jones to Gutierrez.
Beautiful play by the Tigers. And a tough one on the Yankees. Tied up 2-2 as we get set for the bottom of the third. McAuliffe to batter, and he takes outside for ball 1.
And also a good play on the part of the shortstop Gutierrez, who made the final out covering second base on White coming in.
That's right. And he made 2 good moves there. The pitch to McAuliffe, swinging a ground ball hit to second. Clark waits, gets it at the belt, throws underhand to first, and there's 1 out. First play that he made there was great. You see, Clark was watching McAuliffe field the ball on the grass. McAuliffe faked to first, and Gutierrez broke for third and got there ahead of Clark. So McAuliffe then throws the ball to the shortstop at third, so Clark is hung out to dry, and he's running around. Threw it back to Jones. Jones made a great fake. Fake to throw to third. Clark stopped, and, here's the ball. He's out. Another throw back, and somehow Gutierrez wound up at second base, taking Roy White out. Mickey Stanley, the batter. The pitch to him. Low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike.
Case of an infielder covering 2 bases on the same plate.
1-0 the count on Stanley. It's a 2-2 ball game in the bottom half of the third inning. Thompson winds and delivers. Mickey takes low for a ball. 2-0 the count. 2 balls with no strikes to Mickey Stanley. Yankees shade him to left. The pitch to him is low and inside, and it's 3-0. 3 balls with no strikes. Thompson hadn't walked anybody. He struck out 2. Yankees 2 and the Tigers 2, as we've had a lot of action in the first 3 innings of this ball game. 3-0 the count on Mickey Stanley. Pitch to him. In there for the called strike, and it's 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. And the Pepsi man is here. We've got a lot to live. 3-1 the count. Here it comes. Low for ball 4. Base on balls for Stanley. Walk number 1 on Stan Bonson. And it will bring up Al Kaline, who struck out for one of his infrequent times his last time up. I think it was Chris Peterson was telling me he's never struck out K-Line. This has been unable to strike him out, but Bonson was able to get him. See how many strikeouts for K-Line this year. He's been up 449 times officially. He has only struck out 46 times. First pitch is a ball outside, 1-0. He's walked 77 times, struck out 46. 1 ball and no strikes. Next pitch to K-Line is outside, and it's 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes, Frank.
Here's the latest in the National League. At the end of 3, Montreal 3, Chicago 2. Pittsburgh scored 2 in the top of the third for a 2-0 lead over the Mets. The Mets batting now in the bottom half of the third.
2 balls and no strikes. Here it comes. There's a high fly ball hit down the left field line. Cater and Michael running for it. It's in foul territory. Near the seats, it comes down, and Michael grabs it. Gene Michael makes the catch. Throw back into the infield, and getting back to first base is Mickey Stanley. K-Line hit one like that before that was a little bit further and a little bit lower, and nobody could reach it. Cater was a little bit off the mark on this one. He turned with his back to the plate. He was actually over by the stand, which made us think for a moment it would be into the stand. Then suddenly Michael turned around, and he had it all the way. So there are 2 outs. And Jim Northrup, who started things off in the second inning with a base hit. Tigers with 4 singles in the second inning, and they scored 2 runs. It's 2-2 in the bottom of the third. 2 outs now. The pitch to Northrup, swinging a ground ball to short. Michael up with it, steps on the bag, and the side's retired. For the Tigers, no runs, no hits, no Yankee errors, and a man left on at the end of 3 here at Tiger Stadium. It's the Yankees, 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. The Tigers, same thing, 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Now with the scores of the other ball games, and to carry you through the next 3, Frank Messer.
All right, Bob, give me here. And let's look at the scoreboard in the American League right now. Boston 5, Washington nothing at the end of 3. Coleman started for Washington. Jackie Brown relieved in the third inning. Ken Brett has gone all the way for Boston. That's the afternoon half of a day-night doubleheader, making up last night's rainout. Cleveland plays at Baltimore tonight. Kansas City at Milwaukee this afternoon. Scoreless at the end of 2.5. Bunker for Kansas City, Morris for Milwaukee. California at Oakland this afternoon, but not yet underway, and Cleveland plays at Baltimore tonight. In the National League, there's one other night game in the American League, Minnesota at Chicago. Now in the National League, Pittsburgh 2, New York nothing, end of 2.5. Walker for the Pirates, Gentry for the Mets. Phillies 1 and the Cardinals 1 at the end of 2.5. Wise against Virginia. Cincinnati and Atlanta later start. San Francisco at San Diego, and Houston at Los Angeles later start. And Montreal 3, Chicago 2 at the end of 3. Carl Morton, the Montreal pitcher, has hit a 2-run homer, his second home run of the year in the ball game. Kenny Holtzman pitching for the Cubs. Expos leading 3-2 at the end of 3. Here's Danny Cater to lead off in the top half of the 4th inning for the Yankees. Swings on the first pitch and pops it up on the right side of the infield. Under it, Al Kaline, the first baseman, and one-hands it. So Cater's first ball hitting pops up to Kaline. 1 away. Cater's first time up, leading off the second inning, he ignited a 2-run rally for the Yankees with a base hit to center. And now John Ellis, who doubled to drive Cater in and later scored on Gene Michael's base hit in the second. Ellis takes a fastball inside, ball 1. Ellis in the 2 games of the series now has 4 runs batted in, 3-run homer last night. This pitch is fouled back for a strike, and it's 1-1. Bobby Mercer is on deck. Yankees and the Tigers tied 2-2. Keller turns it loose, and he's high with the pitch. 2 balls and a strike to John Ellis. There's the windup and the pitch. Breaking pitches outside and low. Ball 3-1 to Ellis. John takes a quick look at third base coach Dick Hauser. He'll be on his own, 3-1. Miller turns it loose, and it's high, ball 4. Very, very seldom, unless it should be the pitcher up there, very seldom would Ralph House give a take on a 3-1. Ralph says it's just like taking the bat out of the hitter's hands, not let him swing at that 3-1 pitch if he wants to. Now Bobby Mercer called out on strikes his first trip. Swings on the first one and fouls it off the chest protector of the plate umpire, Ed Runge. No balls, one strike to Bobby. Ron Woods on deck. Hiller's pitch. Swung on, hit deep to center field. Back goes Stanley. Still going back. Under it and makes a one-hand catch near the running track. That ball was hit over 400 feet. It is 440 to straightaway center field, and Stanley was almost on the running track when he made the catch. Ellis back to first base. And Mickey Mantle leaves the coaching box to say something to John Ellis, perhaps suggesting John might have, well, we just don't know. One advantage the first base coach has. Right now, pitch to Ron Woods. Strike one called. He notices anything about the hitter, and usually your first base coach is your batting coach. He notices anything about the hitter, he has an immediate opportunity to talk to him about it when he reaches base, if he reaches. There's a swing and a miss by Woodsy, and the count is 0-2. Hiller got him on a slow curveball. Hiller stretches, checks Ellis at first. The pitch, strike three called, and for the second time in a row, Ron Woods called out on strikes. That is strikeout number 5 for John Hiller. For the Yankees, no runs, no hits. There were no errors, a walk and a man left. And now at the end of the top half of the fourth inning, the score. The New York Yankees 2 and the Detroit Tigers 2.
Are you game for a quiz? Then listen carefully because the question won't be repeated. What does ARCO stand for? A-R-C-O. Here are a few hints. Hint 1. Many of you recently received a credit card with the name ARCO on top. It replaced your Atlantic card. Hint 2. The ARCO card is honored by Hertz, Ramada, and Treadway Inns, Hyatt House Hotels, Hyatt Lodges, Travel Lodge Motels, Friendship Inns, Emmons Walker Inns Incorporated, and Superior Motel. Time's up. Anyone who figured out that ARCO stands for the petroleum products of the Atlantic Richfield Company gets an A. You see, when the Atlantic Richfield Company was formed, it made sense to have one national credit card good at thousands of service stations coast to coast. The name selected for the card was ARCO. And if you'd like to carry one, applications are waiting for you at all Atlantic stations. If there are no more questions, then class is dismissed.
Gates Brown will be leading off for the Detroit Tigers here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Gates Brown grounded out to Clark his first time up. Left-hand hitter. Gates Brown bats out of a pronounced crouch. He looks at a high pitch for ball one. They bunch the outfield towards center on Gates Brown. The infield plays him up the middle. Bonson's next pitch. He takes it for a strike. Here are 2 ball games. Bonson winds and delivers. A strike call. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gates Brown. Bonson winds. Turns it loose. Strike on the inside corner, and Gates Brown is caught looking. Not too happy with the call. Has a word or two to say, and now walks away. So for Stan Monson, strikeout number 3. The other 2 were on swinging third strikes by Al Kaline and John Hiller, the pitcher. And Phil Rizzuto has made his way down from television section.
Oh, such a beautiful day, Frank. Unbelievable. What a day to be alive and out and watching a ball game.
Rolling in Dalton Jones. Singled to drive in a run and then scored the tying run for the Tigers in the second. Bonson starts him off with a curveball, strike 1. Stan fires again, and this one is in the dirt. And whether you notice down the television booth, Phil, the two young ladies sitting down there near the Yankee dugout, and the two gentlemen right behind them, and they met. One of the girls traded places with one of the boys.
No kidding, no.
Oh, love and bloom here at Tiger Stadium today.
Things going on radio that we don't see on TV.
I bet you missed that.
Yeah, I mean it. We're taking their feed, you know.
1-2 pitch. Bounce. Foul outside of third. Or check that outside of first. A ball and 2 strikes to Dalton Jones. Well, there's a birthday banner down there for Brian. Jones fouls the pitch back off the screen. Let's say, happy birthday, Brian Kent. Well, happy birthday, Brian. And all the Bryans have a birthday today.
Pretty good. Not a ball player.
1-2 pitch, just outside. And the count is even 2-2 now to Dalton Jones. And his buddies down there saluting him on his birthday. 2-2 pitch. Outside, ball 3. One out, nobody on. 2-2 ball game, and a 2-2 pitch coming here to Jones. He hits it deep to right field, and this one is bye-bye, baby. In the upper deck. Long run, Dalton Jones. Tigers go out in front, 3-2. And for Jones, the home run is his 6th of the year, giving him 18 runs batted in. Base hit number 5 for the Detroit Tigers, and it will bring up the catcher, Jim Bright. He looks at a slider strike call. Pittsburgh 2 and the Mets nothing, end of 3. Frank singles his first time up to right field. Monson delivers again, breaking pitch, foul back upstairs. Cesar Gutierrez is on deck. Tigers now leading 3-2 on the home run by Dalton Jones. Monson winds. Here's the pitch coming. Inside with a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the catcher, Jim Price. Price takes blown away. Ball 2, 2-2. Wally Moses coaches down at first base for the Detroit Tigers, and Grover Riesinger coaches at third. 2-2 pitch coming here. Hit in the air to center field. Bobby Mercer coming in. Now to his right. He's under it. And Mercer makes the catch. Looks as if Bobby was having a little bit of trouble with that one. But he's looking up into a very bright sun. Gutierrez steps in. He had a single to drive and a run his first time up. Pitches inside to Gutierrez. The windup by Bonson and the 1-0 pitch. Get on the ground at third. Cater plays it on the second hop. Guns it on the first base. That's all for Gutierrez. So the side is retired, but the Tigers take the lead with 1 run on 1 hit. A homer by Jones. No errors, nobody left. At the end of 4, it's Detroit 3 and the Yankees 2.
Very little is known about drilling for oil in the Arctic. When Atlantic Richfield discovered oil on Alaska's North Slopes, the place we call the Arco Circle, we found out just how little.
We found out about 45-degree below zero temperatures and 70-mile-an-hour winds. We found out about frozen ground 1,500 feet thick. We found out steel drills can shatter like glass. We found out roads have to be 8 feet thick. We found out it takes 60 plane loads to set up one rig. We found out it takes 7 times longer to drill and costs $20,000 a day. But we found the first major oil field on American soil in 40 years. At Atlantic Richfield, we went all the way to Alaska so we can provide your local Atlantic dealer with the finest Arco petroleum products for your car.
At the end of 3.5 innings now, the Chicago Cubs have gone back in front of Montreal 4-3 as the Cubs got 2 runs in the top half of the fourth. Cubs 4, Montreal 3 at the end of 3.5.
I know it's wrong now that you told me.
Michael will lead off the top half of the 5th inning for the New York Yankees. Michael drove in a run with a single in the second, so he's 1 for 1 in the ball game. Chokes up a bit on the bat handle and takes low and outside, ball 1. Whoever's running the scoreboard here at Tiger Stadium today is having a lot of trouble. And we can't go by it for scores. Michael takes the strike, and the count evens 1-1. Tigers leading 3-2. John Hiller, the left-hander, winds, kicks, and deals high. 2 balls, 1 strike to Michael. Hiller's next pitch, fastball, swung out and foul tipped into the mitt of the catcher, Jim Price. Two pitch, low, ball 3. The string runs out. Just a real pleasure, Phil, to look out there and see all the youngsters here in the ballpark today on a Saturday afternoon.
Oh, they're making their presence felt, too. I like to hear them cheer.
Here's a pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Strikeout number 6 for John Hiller. The youngsters in New York just have 1 more weekend for Yankee baseball. Saturday the 26th and Sunday the 26th and Sunday the 27th with the Tigers in. Dan Bonson moved in. He was called out on strikes his first time up, and he looks at a strike on the first pitch here. Hiller delivers again. Changeup is high and outside. One offering. Swung on, high fly ball, deep left field, but playable by Gates Brown. He's under it near the 365 marker, and he makes the catch. So Bonson is retired on a high fly to deep left. 2 down. The batter will be Horace Clark. Gates Brown made quite a catch to take an extra base hit away from Clark in the first inning. Then Horace singled in the 3rd, stole the base, but was rubbed out in a rundown play. Clark 1 for 2. Thurman Munson comes out on deck. Fastball, strike call. And the 0-1 pitch. Curve is high. I guess, Phil, the only time that Clark will ever take that fastball on the first pitch for a strike is when there are 2 outs and the pitcher is just batted. Right? He goes at this one. It's a fly ball to shallow center. Coming on for it is Mickey Stanley. He's there, makes the catch to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across for the Detroit Tigers, or for the New York Yankees. And at the end of 4.5, it's the Detroit Tigers 3 and the Yankees 2.
Vacation Nation, Canada. Let's bring a neighbor back to the yard. And we're inviting you to come to a holiday land of sport and fun to Vacation Nation, Canada.
Offers a golden opportunity to see Canada at its glorious best. The scenery's stunning right now. The air is tangy. The mood is mellow. And it's just a short drive to cities like exciting Toronto or charming Ottawa, Canada's capital. Or maybe you like hunting or fishing or hiking. For a day, a weekend, or a vacation you'll enjoy, visit Canada. Autumn's a good time, and you'll have a good time, too, in Vacation Nation, Canada. For full information, write the Canadian Government Travel Bureau, Ottawa 4, Canada.
Vacation Nation, Vacation Nation, Canada.
Bottom half of the 5th inning, John Hiller, the pitcher, will lead off for the Detroit Tigers. Before he steps in, we'll step out. On Yankee Baseball, we pause for station identification.
This is Harry Downey bringing the Upside Down again your way weekdays 10 to 3 here on the Fresh Air Sound of Radio 81 WGY Schenectady.
John Hiller, left-hand pitcher, but a right-hand batter, struck out his first time up. Goes right down at the end of the bat handle. Bonson has the sign from Munson, and here's the pitch. Fastball inside at the knees, ball 1. And the 1-0 pitch. Strike called. So you look at Hiller there at the plate. Looks like he's still on the mound. He winds up before he swings the bat. Look at that. Strike 2 is called. And he steps in the bucket.
That could be one of the reasons, or two of the reasons why he's 0 for 14 this year, looking for his first base hit of the year. He's never ready.
Bonson delivers. He pops it up. Foul outside of first. John Ellis flips the glasses down. He's under it. And Ellis makes the catch. 1 away. No. 1 out, nobody on. And it brings up Dick McAuliffe. McAuliffe is popped up and grounded out, 0 for 2. He takes a called strike over the outside corner. They've completed 4 innings at Shea Stadium. Pirates leading 2-0 over the New York Mets. There's one fouled back overhead. Strike 2 to McAuliffe. McAuliffe bats out of an open stance. Bends at the knees. Jolts way up on the bat handle and the pitch. Placed foul down the left field side. Out of play. .440 to center field here at Tiger Stadium. 370 to right center. 365 to left center. 340 down the left field line, 325 down the right field line. The pitch, he takes it high. 1 ball, 2 strikes to McAuliffe. Bonson winds, turns it loose, change up high. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Just outside. Ball 3. So the payoff 1-0 pitch now to Dick McCullough. Here it comes. Foul. Back out of play. Ready again and delivers. Ball 4 is high. McAuliffe is on. That is only the second walk issued by Stan Bronson. Stan has 3 strikeouts. And the batter will be Mickey Stanley. He grounded out to short in the first inning and walked in the third. Very pleasant day, but Stan Bronson is beginning to perspire through his uniform, working hard out there on the mound. Off the stretch. And the pitch to Stanley. Check swing on a pitch that's high, ball 1. Looking at Wally Moses and Grover Riesinger, the baseline coaches, Bill, they both announced that if Mayo Smith is not back next year as manager, that they will not return as coaches.
They're usually very, very loyal to their managers.
1-0 pitch. Drag on the inside corner. 1-1. Bronson working a little more slowly now with the runner at first. 1 away. Stanley swings and misses. Strike 2. Tigers are leading in the ball game 3-2. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Dalton Jones has had the big hit for Detroit. Pitch swung on and fouled off of Thurman Munson's right hand or arm, and the bat goes down to Danny Cater at third. And Munson in a lot of pain, now down on the ground. Ralph House on the run from the dugout. Joe Soaring's right behind him. Munson back up on his feet. Thurman Munson in a lot of pain right now, but working it off. I thought at first that one got him on the hand, but it did not. It got him in the body. He was shaking his hand, and it was just a reflex action. It did not get his hand to the arm. Foul got him just below the chest protector. Now Thurman says he's all right. Sorensen out back to the dugout. Count remains 1-2 on Mickey Stanley. McAuliffe at first, 1 away. The stretch by Bonson. And the pitch. Stanley swings and misses strike 3. Strikeout number 4 for Stan Bonson. And it brings up Al Kaline. At the end of 4.5, it's still Pittsburgh 2, the Mets nothing. Up. Thurman Munson flips the mask away. He's under it. He's got it. And that retires the side. For the Tigers in the 5th, no runs, no hits. There were no Yankee errors, a walk and a man left. At the end of 5, Detroit 3 and New York 2.
Hear the bright and happy sound of the Boys Town Choir singing a delightful folk song. This is the world-famed All-American Choir, direct from Father Flanagan's Boys Town near Omaha, Nebraska. You have a musical treat in store as this outstanding Boys Town Choir sings for you as part of their 20th nationwide tour. Their performances have been staged in every major concert hall in the nation, from Carnegie Hall to San Francisco. Under the direction of
dramatizes the glorious polyphony of the 16th century, includes songs for 12th night, and will present the interesting music of contemporary composers. These rough and ready boys who sing like angels will present a widely varied program of music sure to delight the heart of every concert goer.
The Boys Town Choir will appear at the Palace Theater, Albany on Monday, October 12th at 8 p.m. Tickets available at Van Curler Music Store, Albany, and Miller's Music Store in Troy.
Top half of the sixth inning. Thurman Munson recovered now from the blow he took from the foul ball to lead things off. Munson is 0 for 2. Struck out in the first inning, popped up in the third. Thurman came into the game today as the leading hitter on the club with a .303 average. However, he's gone 0 for 2 while Danny Cater is 1 for 2, so Cater has now replaced him. Cater up to .303 and Munson down to .301. Swings on the first pitch and pops it up on the right side of the infield. Under it, Al Kaline, the first baseman, and one-hands it. One away. The pitch. Line drive past the mound into center, base hit. Turned around first, now comes back. For the Yankees, base hit number 5. Detroit leading in the ball game 3-2. Danny Cater steps in. He's 1 for 2. Single to center field in the second. Came in to score the first of 2 Yankee runs in the inning. He popped up in the fourth. First ball hitting. Cater first ball, swings, drills it off the leg of Hiller, picked up by the second baseman Jones, and Jones throws him out. Ground ball off Hiller's leg, bounced out towards the second baseman Dalton Jones. Jones scrambled after it and got Cater by a step and a half at first. White went to second on the play. Bill, that's a painful way to get an assist.
Certainly is, but I tell you, it stopped base hit from going through to center field, and White ending up at third and Cater at first.
John Ellis moves in. Ellis doubled his first time up, then walked in the fourth, so he's 1 for 1. With a run batted in and a run scored. He takes high, ball 1. I have a feeling right now with first base open and Mercer on deck that John Hiller will be pitching very carefully to Mr. Ellis.
He should be if he's not.
Here it comes. It's high. Ball 2. 2 out. Tigers leading 3-2. White good lead at second. The pitch. Foul back upstairs. Two balls and a strike to John Ellis. Pitch coming low. Cubs did not score in the 6th inning. They lead 4-3. Montreal batting bottom half of the 6th. 3-1 on Ellis. Hiller takes the sign from Jim Bright. Set, kicks, delivers. A curve, low, ball 4, and Ellis is on with another walk. Third walk given up by Hiller. 2 of the 3 to John Ellis. Bobby Mercer, the batter. Strike 1 called on Bobby. Mercer called out on strikes in the second, flied to center field in the fourth. One strike pitch. Curve is low and outside. For those of you keeping score at home, wondering where the other walk was, there wasn't one. He's walked 2, and Ellis walked both seconds. Tiger bullpen goes to work. The pitch. Mercer takes it inside. Tommy Timmerman, a right-hander, and Fred Sherman, a left-hander, begin warming up. Mercer wants the baseball examined. Ed Runge calls for it, looks it over, says it's all right. 2 balls and a strike to Bobby Mercer. Runners first and second. The pitch. Strike 2 call. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2 on with 2 gone. Tigers leading 3-2. The step by Hiller. The left-hander's pick. Fastball swung on him. Missed, strike 3. Mercer strikes out. And that is number 7 for John Hiller. For the Yankees, no runs, a base hit, no errors, and 2 men are left. At the end of the top of the 6th, the score, Detroit 3 and New York 2. Jim Northrup will lead off the bottom half of the 6th inning. Northrup single leading off the 2nd. Tigers got 2 runs in the inning. Northrup grounded into a force play to Gene Michael in the 3rd, so he's 1 for 2. Home run by Dalton Jones in the 4th, the difference in this ball game right now. Northrup left-hand batter. Tigers 3 runs, 5 hits. Yankees 2 runs, 5 hits. No errors in the ball game. And Bonson's first pitch now to Jim Northrup. High, ball 1. Next pitch coming. Off-speed pitch is over. Strike called. The Tiger bullpen, they keep Timmerman loose. Bonson delivers. Northrup hits a ground ball to Michael's left, and it's through on a center field base hit. Elliot Maddox is loosening up down in the Tiger bullpen area, perhaps to come into this ball game, not as a pitcher, of course. He plays so many different positions, it's hard to tell where they might insert him or whether they will, but he is limbering up anyway. Gates Brown moves in. Northrup is on with his second base hit. He's 2 for 3 down. The Tigers have 6 hits in the game. Pitch coming. Brown hits a high pop-up on the left side. Gene Michael calling for it. Glasses down. Under it. He's got it. 1 out. Yankee bullpen goes to work with the left-hander Mike McCormick and right-hander Gary Wozlewski. He plays so many different positions, it's hard to tell where they might insert him or whether they will, but he is limbering up anyway. Gates Brown moves in. Northrup is on with his second base hit. He's 2 for 3 down. The Tigers have 6 hits in the game. Pitch coming. Brown hits a high pop-up on the left side. Gene Michael calling for it. Glasses down. Under it. He's got it. 1 out. Yankee bullpen goes to work with the left-hander Mike McCormick and right-hander Gary Wozlewski warming up. Dalton Jones, the batter, 2 for 2. 2 runs batted in with a single and a home run. He's had a hand in every run the Tigers have scored. Ball 1 is high. He singled in the 2nd to drive in a run, later scored in the inning, then homered in the 4th, and those are the 3 Detroit runs. Bonson with a 1-0 pitch to him. Turns it loose, outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Look in for the sign. They shade Jones a bit to the right side on the infield. And here's the pitch to him. Strike call, knee-high on the outside part of the plate. At the end of 5 1/2, Pittsburgh 2, the Mets nothing. 2-1 pitch here. Drilled deep to right center field. Way back. Mercer after it. He cannot get to it. It's off the wall. Around third, heading home is Northrup. Into second base, Dalton Jones. And now the Tigers lead 4-2. Mercer fired the ball into Horace Clark. Northrop about midway from third home, but no throw into the plate. A double for Jones, his third hit in the ball game, and his third RBI. Now Jim Price, the catcher, steps in. He swings in the first pitch, drops down to the third, pass Skinner down to left field corner. Around third, hitting home again is Dalton Jones. Throw goes into second base over Clark's head. The ball now goes over toward the stands down the bullpen area. On his way to third goes Price. And he is stopped there by Grover Riesinger. Roy White's throw was 20 feet wide of Horace Clark at second base. Ron Wood finally retrieved the ball down near the Yankee bullpen. A single for Price, a run batted in for Price, and an error on Roy White in left, allowing Price to go from first to third. So Dalton Jones now has scored 3 runs as well as having batted in 3. And the Detroit Tigers lead 5-2. Of course, on 1 run he scored, he also batted it in, not on the home run. There's our Gutierrez, the batter. Yankees have to pull the infield in now with a runner at third and only 1 out. Gutierrez 1 for 2. Fouls the first pitch back, strike 1. Gutierrez has stepped away, now moves back in. No activity now in the Detroit bullpen with the Tigers out in front 5-2. Bonson pitch. Gutierrez bunts it, and Bonson has it. Looks to third. It was no suicide squeeze. Gutierrez did not bother to run down to first base. And that was a weird play. Gutierrez butted out in front of the plate. Price was not coming home. Gutierrez did not run to first.
He is very upset, Frank. Gutierrez figured that the suicide squeeze was on, but Price evidently missed the sign, and Gutierrez sacrificed himself so that he lay down a good bunt and didn't run. And when he saw Price standing at third, he took his helmet and fired it.
Well, you never know. There's a play where they say, well, who's at fault? You don't know. Bonson winds his first pitch to Hiller. Low and outside, blocked by Thurman Munson. I say, who's at fault and you don't know. Gutierrez might have been at fault. He might have read the sign wrong. Or Price may not have had the sign, so you just don't know. 1-0 pitch to Hiller. Swung on, fly ball out in the left field. Roy White is there. He's under it, makes the catch. And the side is retired. But the Detroit Tigers scored 2 runs on 3 hits, a Yankee error, and a man left. And at the end of 6, it looks like this. The Tigers 5 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. The Yankees 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. And now with the scores of the other games and to carry you right down to the end of this one, ladies and gentlemen, here's the Scooter Phil Rizzuto.
All right, Frank. In the American League, California at Oakland, Cleveland at Baltimore, and Minnesota, Chicago later starts. Washington at Boston playing a day-night doubleheader. In the day game, at the end of 6 1/2, it's the Red Sox 6 and Washington 1. Riddleberger in there now for Washington, and Brett all the way for the Red Sox. Kansas City 3, Milwaukee nothing, end of 4 1/2. Bunker against Baldwin. In that hot National League race at the end of 5 1/2, Pirates 2, Mets nothing. Luke Walker for the Pirates and Gary Gentry for the Mets. The Phillies leading the Cardinals 4-1 at the end of 4 1/2. Wise against Cortana. Heisel got his 9th of the year in the 4th with one arm. Cincinnati at Atlanta later on, as in San Francisco at San Diego, and Houston at L.A. The Cubs at Montreal. The Cubs are leading 4-3 at the end of 5 1/2. Holtzman for the Cubs. Carl Morton for Montreal, and Carl Morton got his 2nd home of the year in the 3rd with one arm. And as Frank told you, Elliot Maddox, a local boy, as far as I'm concerned, from Elizabeth, New Jersey, has gone into play left field, place of Gates Brown. Maddox, a fine all-around ball player. He has really filled in all over for these Detroit Tigers and done a fine job. So the Yankees will be sending up Woods, Michael, and in all probability a pinch hitter for Stan Bonson, as Mike McCormick continues to throw in the Yankee bullpen. Ron Woods has been up twice and struck out both times. All right, Ron Woods struck out both times up there. The Yankees trailing 5-2. We're in the 7th. The pitch about to up. The pitch is glove. Coming in fast, Goody Ashley. He'll never get him. He tried to grab it one-handed, but that'll be a base hit. He would not have been able to throw him out. And for the Yankees, their 6th base hit of the ball game. And Gene Michael will be the batter. And on deck, Bob Gamia, who has just joined us in the radio booth.
Well, waiting to see. There's going to be an on-deck pinch hitter as well. I thought I was going to run down and pinch hit there for a minute and Stan Bonson's face.
Well, let's see who's coming out there. Ron Hansen is in the on-deck circle. But right now, Michael up there, and the pitch is popped foul. That'll go out of play over the Yankee dugout, back into the crowd. This is a beautiful, beautiful day here in the Motor City of Detroit, Michigan. Well, it's kind of a sad city right now with several strikes going on. Woods leads the way. The pitch is high, 1-1.
The people in the hotel don't appear too sad.
Oh, no, those Shriners, man, they're really having a ball, I'll tell you. The pitch to Michael, swing and a miss. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yankees trail 5-2 in the top of the 7th. Stretch by Hiller. His pitch popped down the right field line, moving to his left is Northrop. He's there, and Mixicat's having a little trouble with that sun. And as Hanson comes up, we'll pause for station identification.
This is Steve Fisk, your contact host. Call us weeknights from 8 to midnight. Here on the Fresh Air Sound of Radio 81, WGY Schenectady.
We go with Ron Hansen now batting for Stan Bonson. Ron Hansen enjoying a fine year. Filling in when he has to, pinch hitting when he has to. The pitch to run, swing and a miss, strike 1. So Mike McCormick will be coming on. The next pitch is fouled upstairs and out of play over the roof. Back on out the street. 0-2. Woods leads off first. K-Line holding him on. Stretched by Hiller. His pitch is popped up on the left side. The shortstop Gutierrez calls for it. And makes the catch between 2nd and 3rd. There are 2 outs. And the batter now, Horace Clark. Horace robbed of a base hit his first time up on a fine catch by Gates Brown. Had an infield hit in the 3rd and then slide to center. Yankees trail 5-2 here in the top of the 7th. 2 out, nobody on. On deck, Thurman Munson. The pitch is high, ball one. Ron Woods is on first base. I believe I said nobody on. Ron is down there. A new ball thrown out to John Hill. Clark stands well up in front of that plate. Hiller's pitch hits his bat as he tries to duck out of the way, and it's 1-1. Clark leans into those pitches, and I tell you, it's a wonder he even hit more. Because as he steps in, his body goes right in. They're bounced back to second base. Up with it, Jones goes to first base in time to get Clark. And that's all here. In the top of the seventh, no runs are hit, no errors a man left. And at the end of 6 1/2, it's Detroit 5 and the Yankees 2.
The Arctic tundra, 12 inches of vegetation covering frozen ground 1,000 feet deep. When Atlantic Richfield Company discovered oil on Alaska's North Slope, the place we call the Arco Circle, we found out if you disturb the tundra, you cause erosion. A tire track can cause a 50-foot gorge. We stopped driving our trucks across it and started experiments with 13 different kinds of grass seed, so that if erosion occurred, we'd be ready. The seeding has to be done by hand. The fertilizing has to be done by helicopters, and the grasses will have to be incredibly hardy to make it. But if they do, there will be a way to protect the delicate tundra forever. At Atlantic Richfield Company, we're doing this because we believe drilling for oil and conservation go together. We went all the way to Alaska to drill for oil, so we can provide your local Atlantic dealer with the finest Arco petroleum products for your car.
The new Yankee pitcher is Mike McCormick, making his first appearance since September the 3rd against Baltimore. And McCormick comes on to pitch with the Yankees trailing 5-2. With the Yankees, he's won 1 and lost none. He has pitched 18 and 2/3 innings. He's given up 23 hits, 13 walks, 10 strikeouts. And prior to that, he had been with San Francisco, where he had a record of 3 wins and 4 losses. Let's see what the scoreboard has to say. The Pirates lead the Mets 2-1 at the end of 6. The Mets getting 1 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And Lamb came on to pitch for Pittsburgh in the bottom of the 6th, so it's 2-1 there. And let's see what's the latest on the Cubs of Montreal. Here it is at the end of 6 1/2. The Cubs 4 and Montreal 3. Montreal batting in the 7th inning. Elsewhere around the league, Philadelphia leading St. Louis 4-2 at the end of 6. Kansas City over Milwaukee 3-0 at the end of 5 1/2. So that's the story on the scoreboard as we get set for the bottom half of the 7th inning. The Yankees leading at 5-2, or trailing 5-2, and now Mike McCormick out there on the mound has got to hope to keep the Tigers to that 3-run lead and hope that the Yankees can come back against John Hiller. But Hiller has been tough today. He's been real tough against the Yankees. He stopped them on just 6 hits, but he's also struck out 7, and he's only walked 2, and in both cases that was Johnny Ellis. And Dalton Jones has been the Yankee nemesis with a single, a home run, and a double, 3 RBIs. And right now McCormick has to worry about the top of the order. All right, Robert, and it's Dick McAuliffe who hits the soft ground ball at second base. Clark has it, throws to first base in time, and McAuliffe's out of there. He hit that ball right off his hands. McAuliffe now 0 for 3. He walked once. Mickey Stanley, who has walked once, has also bounced to short and struck out. Yankees jumped off to a 2-0 lead in the top of the 2nd, but Detroit came right back to tie in the bottom of the 2nd, picked up a run in the 4th and 2 in the 6th. Pitch to Stanley, line to right field for a base hit. A high outside fastball. He went right with it, drilled it out to Ron Woods, who fires it in. First hit off McCormick, the 9th for the Tigers, and now up in the Yankee bullpen is Mel Stottlemyre. Probably just loosening up for his next start, which should be against the Senators. Al Kaline, the batter. Al takes a strike. One strike on Kaline. Al is 0 for 3. Struck out, popped the short foul to the catcher. Throw to first base, but back in plenty of time, Stanley. McCormick ready. Line to right field, but curving foul. One bounce by the bullpen and kicks off the wall. And it's 0-2. Back to first base, Mickey Stanley. Yankees are going to have to bounce back in the 8th and 9th, trailing by 3 here. Stretched by McCormick. Foul back. He threw him a changeup. Line timed it very well. Just got under it. Still 0-2. Ed Runge, the plate umpire. Stanley leads off first. Throw over there. Johnny Ellis, no play. McCormick ready again. Another throw over there, but Stanley is only off there about 2 steps and gets back very easily. Pirates fail to score in the top of the 7th, so as Bob told you, still 2-1 Pittsburgh leading at the end of 6 1/2. Line to left field, Roy White digging hard and makes the running catch. The throw will not be in time. Cut off by clock. Stanley was down to second, managed to get back in a hurry. So it's 2 out. Here's Jim Northrup, who is 2 for 3. Single to right and scored in the second. Bounced to short in the third. Single to center and scored in the 6th. He and Dalton Jones have been the big boys for the Tigers. Out. 5-2. The Tigers lead. Pitch by McCormick is hit deep to right field. Ron Wood's back by the warning track. He's got range now. Got room. Makes the catch. No runs in. No errors. A man left. And at the end of 7, it's Detroit 5, the Yankees 2.
Angry, argumentative person and want to become a friendly, loving person, come to our brewery in Utica, New York. There we will give you a free tour and show you how we put love into our Utica front door. When we tour guide, we show you how we really age our beer for once, instead of the mix like most breweries do. So that our beer would have a real bubble instead of artificial bubble. We show you how we love our ingredients so much that unlike most brewers, and after that, we take you to our 1838 factory and give you some free Utica Club beer. So by the time you will no longer be angry non-humidity. You will speed up with your
Well, the man has been flirting with the 300 mark for the past couple of weeks. 7 months set to tuck in. Today he's 0 for 3. He struck out, popped out to shortstop. And the last time up, he did a bonus at shortstop. Struck 7 shoots with a base hit as he comes up in the 8th inning. But John Miller has been tough of the strike. Top. Well, the Yankees trailing by 3 and at top of the 8th. Munson wanted him later, and Vinneberg is trying Johnny up. Then taking a long time to get ready in batter's box. Runge and Price looking at him. Now he is finally ready. And the first pitch by Hiller is high, ball 1. Hiller, the left-hander, ready again. His pitch is low, ball 2, 2-0. Lloyd Colson, loosening up in the Yankee bullpen, along with Mel Stottlemyre. There's the strike to Munson, and it's 2 balls and a strike. You know, Bob, you were talking about Frank Howard having a chance to win the home run crown, battling with Harmon Killebrew and the RBI crown. Interesting piece by Ted Winters on how he rates MVPs. There's a foul back. What does he say? Well, he claims that has nothing to do with fielding or running bases or anything. He said it should be the man who gets the most total bases, hits the most home runs, and the most runs batted in, and graduate the points accordingly. And boy, I'd have to disagree with the splendid splitter for the first time ever. Because he gives nothing for fielding.
What about pitching? He gives nothing there either.
No, he doesn't think pitchers should be. Figures they got their Cy Young award, and that should be it.
If you looked at the Yankees, you'd have to make a good case for Lindy McDaniel as MVP. I'm not saying he would be, but you could have some good arguing points, couldn't you?
Well, that's what they say. Williams will argue with you all summer and all winter if necessary. He's got a point, but of course, him being a great slugger, he sticks with the sluggers.
Oh, I like the way they did it in 1950. That was the year they had the right idea.
That's a foul back. You're right, because if they'd have gone by Williams' statistics, I'd have finished 83rd, or tied for 83rd. You're all right, Robert. I don't care what anybody says. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. And Thurman Munson up there. The 2-2 pitch is fouled back and out of play. Actually, you are fortunate, though, Bob, because you should have seen the way they kidded me my first year broadcast. Red Barber and Mel Allen.
Oh, I heard it many times. As a matter of fact, I think you got to do 1 inning, didn't you?
Yeah. They surprised me. They'd never tell me when. So I had to be alert all the time. Not that you're not alert all the time. You are.
Bill Kane says that was your best year when you did 1 inning a day.
Okay, Killer. The 2-2 pitch is high, ball 3. 3-2. I'd say the one thing around Gamir, there are no secrets. He's like an open book. No matter what you say, Bob will repeat it. And if it's worth repeating, fine. But sometimes it's not. We got a full count on Thurman Munson. The payoff pitch is fouled back and out of play. In the upper deck, coming down below, and bouncing around, and a youngster up with a souvenir. So it's still 3-2 on Munson. It's a big hit for Thurman. I don't believe he'll dip under the 300 mark, but he came into this game batting .303. It'll be right around 300. Inside, ball 4. So he gets the base on balls to lead off the top of the 8th. It's only the 3rd walk given up by Hiller. The other 2 walks were to Johnny Ellis. Roy White, popped it short, hit into a very unusual double play in the 3rd, and then single to center. That was an outstanding double play, Bob, wasn't it?
Great play by the Tigers. Really alert. You can't really fault the Yankees base running that way.
Gutierrez, really, he and McAuliffe made the play. It was well executed. There's a strike to White. Nobody out here in the top of the 8th. Yankees trail 5-3, 5-2. And he's getting that extra run. The pitch, bounce to third base. McAuliffe over to goes to second. Wheel throws it into right field. Munson's up. He'll go to third base. And holding at first is Roy White. And McAuliffe tried to get rid of that ball too quickly and threw it about 10 feet over the head of Dalton Jones into right field. That'll be an error. Charge to McAuliffe, a big break for the Yankees. They have runners at first and third, nobody out, but Mayo Smith is coming out. Let's see. Bob Gamir puts the glasses on down there.
Sherman and Timmerman.
And Timmerman.
Timmerman, the right-hander, and Sherman, the left-hander. The Phillies pitched a fine game, but that's it. He's out.
Boy, that's a quick hook, isn't it, Bob?
Certainly is. And Mayo Smith gave the signal with the right hand, and that means that Timmerman will be coming on the pitch. So it certainly wasn't really Hiller's fault in this inning. That was a hard ground ball to third. And we had just been commenting on the fine infield play of the Tigers, and with that, the infield opens the door for the Yankees. They have first and third and nobody out. So Tom Timmerman comes on to pitch. So Hiller goes 7 innings plus. And up to this point, he's given up 2 runs, 6 hits. He has walked 3 and struck out 7. So a fine performance by Hiller. He cannot be the losing pitcher and could very well be the winner. And he gets a fine hand from the crowd here at Tiger Stadium. So Timmerman comes on, and this will be game number 57. So he's been the workhorse. He has a record of 6 wins, 5 losses, and 26 saves. But probably Mayo Smith just has a lot of confidence in Tom Timmerman. His earned run average, however, is not that good. It is 3.69. He's pitched 77 and 2/3 innings. He's given up 79 hits, 35 runs, 32 of which have been earned. He's walked 26, and he struck out 41. So Tom Timmerman comes on the pitch. And notice he's only given up 3 home runs in 77 and 2/3 innings. So he doesn't throw up that gopher ball. And he's actually been involved in 2 shutouts which the Tigers have had. He's been the relief pitcher 2 times when the Tigers starters have combined with him to shut out the opposition. So Tom Timmerman comes on the pitch with the Tigers leading by a score of 5-2. But the Yankees have a great shot because they have first and third, nobody out, and they have Cater, Ellis, and Mercer coming up. So the right-hander comes on to pitch to Cater and Ellis, and then we'll see what happens. They still have Sherman, the left-hander, warming up in the bullpen. And now he's been joined by another right-hander.
Bob Reed, the little guy that came
Oh, yeah, we saw him last night. So he's up and warming, so it's Reed and Sherman in the bullpen, Timmerman on the mound, and the Mets failed to score on the 7th. It's 2-1 Pittsburgh.
covered a lot of ground, Edgar Meir, boy, on all that. On the ball, now Cater up there. Danny singled in the second and scored. Popped to first. Was robbed of a base hit in the 6th when he hit one off the pitcher's shin. There's a pitch in the dirt. Kicked around by Jimmy Price. Couldn't locate it for a moment, but the runner's hold. And Cater asked Ed Runge to look at the ball, and Ed says, yeah, let's throw it out. It's got a mark on it. So that's ball 1 on Danny Cater. Ed Runge, one of the top umpires in baseball. Towards the end of the year, everybody gets a little tired, a little weary. Here's the stretch. And the pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Going to the rosin bag is Timmerman. Munson leads off third. White leads off first. Here's the stretch. And a pitch, it's over the outside corner. A ball and 2 strikes. Well, the Yankees here with an excellent chance to get closer in this ball game. Cater behind now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the stretch by Timmerman. His pitch just inside, and it's 2-2. A rough pitch that he's got.
Yes, it is. Cater was ducking out of the way as if the pitch was way inside, but it's on the got the inside corner.
Almost was a strike. Well, he's a big, tall right-hander. Roy White, good lead at first. Munson off third. He doesn't have to have too big a lead. They'll go for the DP. The pitch, swing and a miss, and he really fooled him with that same pitch. Not often you see Danny Cater fool that badly on a pitch. A big strikeout for Timmerman. And now Johnny Ellis has been on base all 3 times today. He doubled in a run in the 2nd and later scored, and then walked in the 4th and walked in the 6th. One swing of the bat by this strong young man, and we'll have a brand new ball game. He hit a home run last night. Was there fooled on the pitch? The pitch is low, ball 1. Olsen still throwing in the Yankee bullpen. Timmerman's pitch, low and inside, 2-0.
Miller never got Ellis out. He had a double and 2 walks. So he's had a perfect day, although he's only had 1 hit.
2 balls, no strikes. The runners lead away. The pitch is in there, strike called, and that was almost a perfect pitch on the outside part of the plate, just knee-high. On deck, Bobby Mercer. Now the 2-1 delivery. On the inside corner, 2-2, and I said it is Timmerman. Is really spotting that ball now. He did a job on Cater. He's doing a job now on Johnny Ellis. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 5-2. Tigers out in front of the top of the 8th. Munson is at third. White is at first. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and he was fooled even more than Cater. Fires the bat down and fires his helmet down. And I want to say that Ellis hands on his hips and looks out at Timmerman as though to say, how can you do that to me? And I want to say, he made
Well, he made Tater look bad, Bob, but Ellis look even worse. Well, Johnny hasn't played much against the right-handed pitchers, and I was asking that about before the game, and he said that his perspective is a little off, even looking at him. He just looks a little weird to him after just sitting against the lefty. Sure, but he did strike out twice, I believe, last night against the right-handed pitcher. All right, here's Bobby Mercer. Still got a chance to tie it up. Bobby having a rough series here. He struck out twice. Fouls one down the left field line, out of play. Now, here's a guy that's happy to see a right-hander. One of the few times, that's right. Bobby, besides striking out twice, fly to center. And in this ballpark, a left-hander wants a pull. Boy, I tell you, it's a hitter's paradise down that right field line. Even though it's 325, the upper stands overhang out about 15 feet, and it doesn't go out sharply. The pitch, he checks his swing on a low curve, and it's 1-1. Bobby outside the batter's box, trying to hold up on that swing, kind of hit his left wrist a little bit. Now he's back in. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. The stretch. The pitch inside again, 2-1. He is really working the spots. Does not want to throw that ball down the middle. It's in and out on Tater and Ellis. Finally struck him out with breaking balls away from him. Doing the same thing with Mercer. He sets again. His pitch right over the outside corner, 2-2, and I said that he's mixing up his pitch. Is beautiful. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 men on. The pitch outside, and it's 3-2, so White will be off with the pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Line now telling Zimmerman that he's going to play him back of the runner, knowing that White will be running. Gives the first baseman a little better edge to catch a hard-hit ground ball. Ready for the payoff pitch. White goes. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and Bobby swung over that ball. And what a job of relief pitching by Zimmerman. Coming in with runners at first and third, nobody out, and striking out the side. Tater, Ellis, and Mercer. No runs, no hits, and there are 3 men left. And at the end of 7 1/2, it's Detroit 5, the Yankees 2.
If you don't do it, it won't get done. It's that simple. If we don't each do our fair share, if we let the other guy do it, it won't get done. Because there'll be no other guy. Think about it. Then give, please, to show you care. If we do it together, it will get done. With your gift, the United Fund can help. Please say yes.
In the National League race, McGraw has come on to pitch for the New York Mets in the 8th inning. Mets trailing in that game by a score of 2-1. And I see that Callison has hit a home run number 19 with a man on in the 8th inning for the Chicago Cubs, and that inning is over, and the Cubs scored 4 runs. So the Cubs lead Montreal 8-3 at the end of 7 1/2. So they're in great shape in that particular ball game, and even if the Pirates beat the Mets, the Cubs would be within a game and a half at the top. So a lot of action going on over there in the National League East. Elsewhere, Baltimore has locked it up in the American League East. Cincinnati has locked it up in the National League West. And Minnesota leads Oakland by 7.5 games in the American League West. Elliot Maddox will be up for his first time in the ball game. Went in the 7th inning for defensive reasons, and now he's coming to bat against Mike McCormick. All right, Elliot Maddox. From Vauxhall, New Jersey, a local boy. Born in East Orange. Quite a high school star in baseball and basketball. 1 strike to Maddox. Pitch is low, 1-1. Five to 2. The Tigers out in front. McCormick's pitch is high.
2 balls and a strike. Maddox, the right-hand batter, stands close to the plate. McCormick's pitch is over the outside corner. It's 2-2. Pointing to the spot where that ball came over the outside part of the plate with his foot. The 2-2 delivery. Strike 3 call. And Maddox is called out on strike. And the batter now, Dalton Jones.
We will be back.
Dalton Jones has had quite a day. A single, a double, and a home run. He fouls this one off over our heads and out of play. Jones has driven in 3 runs and scored 3 runs in the ballgame. He has been the big factor why the Tigers are ahead. Swing and a miss at a breaking pitch, and it's strike 2. Mike McCormick back quickly. Sidearm curve, blown away, a ball and 2 strikes. So all Jones needs is a triple to complete the cycle, which is very difficult to do. Single, double, triple, and a homer in one game. Low, and it's 2-2. Especially tough in this ballpark, I would say. Yeah, you'd have to hit it almost in straight center field or deep right or left center field corner. But down the lines won't get you triple. Foul out of play. Muncy drops the ball, flipped to him by Ed Runge. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And as Jones strikes out, we'll pause for station identification.
This is Shannon in the morning, coming your way Monday through Saturday, 5:30 to 10, here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81, WGY Schenectady.
All right, here's Price, 2 for 3, single twice, fly to center. He's driven in a run and scored a run. Takes the ball high. Ward is loosening up in the Yankee dugout. Looks like he'll pinch it, but there's one deep to left field. That's gone. Up the deck job by Pierre, way back in the upper deck. A home run for Jimmy Price. And he and Dalton Jones have really been something. They have driven in 5 runs between them. And now the Tigers are out in front, 6-2. For Price, home run number 4. Home run number 5 on the year, and runs batted in number 14 and 15 today. Here's Gutierrez, single to drive in a run, bounced to short, and bunted back to the box. Pitch by McCormick is taken down the middle, strike ball. This is a hitter's ballpark, as he's told you. The balls don't sound well when they hit here, but they really travel. Right into the group of kids up there. Line drive. Base hit. There's block in right center field. Gutierrez around first and slips and falls, gets up and goes back to first. He had an idea about going for 2, but his feet went out from under him. And now the batter will be Tom Zimmerman, batting for the first time in this ball game. John Hiller, while he was in there, was 0 for 3. He's still looking for his first hit of the year. He's 0 for 16. Zimmerman, a right-hand batter, takes it low, ball 1. And Gutierrez almost tried a delay steal, but Munson was on the ball, and Caesar had to go back. The stretch and the pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. So it's Detroit 6 and the Yankees 2. Ready? Low, and it's 2-1. having one of their real good days today. They've had a lot of trouble. The 2-1 pitch, bounce foul, and back of the plate. 2-2. Red Sox winning their ball game 7-3 going into the ninth inning. And that's the team that the Yankees have to worry about. And it's the final score. The Red Sox have won their first game of the day-night doubleheader. Fly ball to short field. Mercer is right there. Hardly has to move. Makes the catch. Tigers come up with a run on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. And at the end of 8 full innings, it's the Tigers 6, the Yankees 2.
Dr. Swing speaking.
Doctor, I can't see you today, Doctor, because my car isn't breathing right.
Your car isn't breathing right. Lemon B have been through these reaction formations before. If you don't want to come, don't come. But please, none of these crazy... Excuse me, I didn't mean that. These silly excuses.
Doctor, this is no excuse. Car is breathing.
Damn it, I understand how you feel.
If someone tells you that their car isn't breathing right, they're every bit as sane as you and I. Cars do breathe. At Atlantic, we make a new gasoline, Arco Supreme Gasoline, that helps your car breathe in easy to breathe out cleaner. Arco Supreme helps prevent deposits from clogging the carburetor, air intake valves, and anti-pollution valve of your car. So your car gets better mileage and produces less unburned hydrocarbons to pollute the air. New Arco Supreme Gasoline at your Atlantic dealer now.
Well, we get set for the ninth inning, and the Tigers making some defensive changes. It looks as if McAuliffe has moved from third to second, and Don Wirt's gone in to play third base. So Jones gets a little jump on the rest of the ball players and heading for the shower, and he'll be mighty, mighty happy because of his home run, double, and single in this ball game. All right, Bob, we're going to have some pinch hitting for the Yankees now. Jimmy Lytle will bat for Ron Woods, and on deck is Pete Ward, who will bat for Gene Michael. Jimmy Lytle batting .301, stepping in against Tom Zimmerman. Pitch to Jimmy, swing and a miss, strike one. I think this Zimmerman's ball really moves. Looks like he's got a good sinker. He's got the good curve and a slider, and a pretty good fastball. Yankees trail 6-2 in the top of the ninth. Zimmerman pitches a curve over, strike 2. Jimmy right down the end of the bat. The two-strike pitch bounce there to his right, McAuliffe. He's up with a ghost at first. High, and he's safe at first base. And Kaline said he tagged him. McAuliffe got rid of the ball too quickly again. He had a little more time. Let's wait and see what they call it. And Jimmy Lytle beats. It's an error charged to McAuliffe, his second error of the ball game. That brings up Pete Ward. Twice McAuliffe got rid of the ball when he had a lot of time. So you never can tell. And on deck is Kurt Leffrey, so the Yankees are going to have 3 left-hand pinch hitters in a row. Zimmerman pitch to Ward, low, ball 1. Pete gets in there long time between appearances, but he always appears to be ready and willing. Zimmerman's pitch is low, ball 2-0. Strange, sometimes you make a move for defensive purposes and it backfires. We'll wait and see if that play by McAuliffe does cost them. The 2-0 pitch. The right line, hit in the top of the ninth. They want to get the hitter. Zimmerman ready. The pitch, line drive, base hit off the glove of the third baseman, Don Wirt. It was a fine effort by Don Wirt. I want to tell you, he almost took a base hit away from Pete Ward. He had a bullet. Wirt actually dove off the ground, got his glove on it, just went by him to the shortstop. And now Kurt Leffrey will be batting for the pitcher, Mike McCormick, and Frank Baker will go out and run for Pete Ward. Pete Ward just tipped his hat over in the direction of Don Wirt. Thank him for not catching the ball. Oh, he's a big foul. Pete's a very funny young man, by the way. Good sense of humor. Very quick on the comeback. All right, Kurt Bleffery now the batter. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Baker at first, Lytle at second. The pitch to Bleffery. Holy cow, foul right over our heads. Strike one. You don't have too much time to get ready. Bob told you last night we are closer to the action here in a home plate than any other spot that we broadcast from. And we really on top of the play and the plate. Couldn't ask for a better seat. Runners lead at first and second. A pitch to Bleffery. A bounce to the first base. Kaline will make the play at first base. Both runners advance. Easy put out for Kaline. Runners at second and third, and now Horace Clark up there with one out. Horace is 1 for 4. He singled in the third inning and stole a base, his 22nd of the year. He'll take his practice swings outside the batter's box. I believe this will be a year Horace would just as soon get over with. Whether anything's been bothering Horace or not, but it seems that it's been kind of a rough year for him. The pitch to Clark. Strike on the outside corner. On deck, Thurman Munson. Zimmerman back again quickly. A curve swing and a miss. Strike two. He got a foul tip. Just got a piece of it in and out of the glove of the catcher. Nothing in two. Now the two-strike pitch to Clark. Ground ball in the hole. Base hit to right field. Coming on to score Lytle. They're waving Baker in. And I don't believe Northrop thought that Baker was going to be waved in. He scores. It's now a 6-4 ball game. And a potential tying run is at the plate. So Clark comes through with a single to right field and 2 runs batted in. And Thurman Munson, looking for his first base hit of the day, is 0 for 3. Lost once. But represents a potential tying run. Well, I see the Pirates have changed pitchers again. Dave Giusti has gone in to pitch in the 8th inning for the Pirates. He is their big man in the bullpen. And Brunette also went in the 8th. Now, did Brunette go in before Giusti?
Yes, Brunette was first and then Giusti after.
Okay. Makes a big difference, a left-hander and a right-hander. All right, Munson the batter. The pitch to Thurman. Ground ball up the middle. And what a beautiful play by Gutierrez, but his backhand throw not in time. That'll be a base hit. Oh, that Cesar Gutierrez almost came up with a beauty. He backhanded the throw to McAuliffe, but Clark had slid and was in at second. So now the base hit by Munson has Yankee runners at first and second, only 1 out, and a batter Roy White. So the Yankees coming back here, and that error by McAuliffe could still prove to be a costly one. Jack Aiken now gets up in the Yankee bullpen. Roy White is 1 for 4 on the day. He singled in the 6th inning. Yankees now with 9 base hits. Clark at second, Munson at first. The pitch to White, foul just over our heads again and out of play. Left-hand hitters for the Yankees have not been able to pull that ball to the friendly confines of the right field seat. Zimmerman set. His pitch, ground ball in the hole, another base hit. Horace Clark is coming around third. They're waving him in. The throw comes in, cut off by Gutierrez, and it's a 6-5 ball game with Yankee runners at first and third. And just when it looked like Don Cinnamon was going to be invincible, he has suddenly been hit hard here after the error by McAuliffe. And it's now 6-5 in favor of the Tigers, but the Yankees with runners at first and third, and Danny Kaye to the batter. Now, they're not coming out because the last time Cater was up, Zimmerman made him look bad and, as a matter of fact, struck him out on a curveball low and away. Danny is 1 for 4 on the day. White at first, Munson at third. They lead away. Pitch to Cater. Gets away from Price. Munson is coming on. He'll score. The ball game is tied up, and White goes to second base. Holy cow, that things are happening here. We'll have to wait and see what they call that. A run scores, nevertheless, and the Yankees have tied it up at 6-6. White moves to second. The pitch to Cater was a ball. Ball didn't appear to be in the dirt. It was low, but it got away from Price. The pitch to Cater, low, ball 1. The next pitch, low, ball 2. Oh, yeah, the wild pitch was ball. That's right. I'm all excited here. The pitch to Cater. Curve low, and now it's ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes on Danny Cater, who steps back to look at Dick Hauser. Danny not sure. They could very well be giving him the hit sign here. Boy, the Yankees have bounced back here in the top of the ninth. 4 big runs. The pitch, Kirk swinging a miss. They gave him the green light, and it's 3-1. 6-6 ball game. Only 1 out. The pitch low, and it's ball 4. Now, that's the first walk given up by Zimmerman in the ball game. With Yankee runners at first and second, and the hitter, Johnny Ellis. Johnny has doubled, walked twice, and Zimmerman struck Ellis out. First time he faced him in the 8th inning. Matter of fact, Zimmerman struck out all 3 men, Cater, Ellis, and Mercer. Runners lead at first and second. The pitch to Ellis, low, almost a wild pitch, ball 1.
Say this, when Mayo Smith decides to stick with the pitcher, he sticks with him. Zimmerman has faced 7 batters here, and 6 has gotten on base. 1 was on an error, though.
All right. The Mets failed to score, even though they had 2 pitches in there in the 8th inning for the Pirates. Still 2-1 the Pirates lead end of 8. Check swing on a curve, and it's outside, ball 2, 2-0. Ellis looks down at Dick Hauser now. Sherman and Reed loosening up in the Tiger bullpen, a left-hander and a right-hander. Here's the stretch by Zimmerman. The pitch line to right field, a base hit. This will put the Yankees out in front, and going to third base is Cater. The Yankees want a comeback. 5 runs here in the top of the 9th inning. As Ellis drills on the right field, and listen to the chorus now as Mayo Smith is coming out. And I think you got to give Mayo credit. Another manager might send out his pitching coach. And here comes my coach right now, Bob Stetter. Signaling me. Bob Demers, you're in there. I've got to go to the bullpen.
All right, Phil. So Phil is joining Zimmerman in the bullpen. And Zimmerman, whom we mentioned earlier, had 26 saves for the Detroit Tigers. Did not save this one for John Hiller by any stretch of the imagination. And as Phil mentioned, this has been one of those innings that Mayo Smith would like to forget because he made 2 changes. He took Jones out, and he put in McAuliffe at second, and McAuliffe made an error on the first play of the inning. He put Word in at third, and although Word tried for a line drive, went off his glove and went for a hit to P. Ward. And he gave Hiller the quick hook last inning. Zimmerman came on with runners on first and third, and nobody out in the 8th inning, and he struck out the side. And then, would you believe, he did a complete about-face. And in the 9th inning, ran into nothing but trouble as Jimmy Lytle led it off and was safe on the error. Gene Michael singled. Leffery grounded out to put runners on second and third and 1 out. And at the time, it was 6-2 in favor of the Tigers. And Clark got a single. He made it 6-4, and he was on first. Munson singled him to third. White singled, and it was 6-5, and Munson went to third. Then, of course, we had the wild pitch, and that tied up the ball game. Then Cater walked. Ellis singled. And the Yankees have the lead as Roy White scored, and it is 7-6 in favor of the Yankees with 5 big runs in the 9th inning. What games here in Tiger Stadium? Boy, you better believe it. The Tigers took a couple from the Yankees in the ninth inning. One on a home run by Bill Freehand, and another one on a home run by Willie Horton. And now the Yankees getting some measure of revenge by coming up with 5 runs. And now Jerry Kenney is coming in to run for Johnny Ellis. Ellis winds up with a double, a single, 2 walks, and a strikeout. So he had another fine ball game. And Bobby Mercer will be the batter to face Fred Sherman. Mercer has been up 4 times, and he has struck out 3 times. The other time he flied out to center field. Mercer is the 9th man to bat in the 9th inning, and the Yankees have a 7-6 lead. To the belt goes Sherman in the pitch, way outside for ball 1. The pitcher of record for the Yankees is Mike McCormick, the relief pitcher. And Timmerman, of course, the pitcher of record for the Detroit Tigers. 7-6 the score. The Yankees lead it. They have scored 5 runs here in the 9th inning. Kenny on first, Cater on third, 1 out. The next pitch is way outside. It's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Going over the count, so Sherman is yet to put one over the plate to Mercer. Kenny with the lead, the pitch. Outside and low, it's 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. The Yankees have 5 runs in the 9th inning, and they lead it 7-6. To the belt goes Sherman, the 3-0 pitch, way outside, ball 4. So the Yankees have sent 9 men to the plate, and 8 of them have made it to first base. The bases are loaded with 1 out. The Yankees are now in a position where they could wind up with a hatful here in the 9th inning. They've already got 5. Here's Jimmy Lytle who let it all off. He had a difficult chance for McDonald, who went to his right, and the throw to first was high, and Lytle was able to elude the tag of Kaline. And that started it all off here in the 9th inning. Sherman's still going to stretch. Lefty against lefty. Bases loaded, infield in. First pitch to Lytle. In there for the called strike just above the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Well, Lytle is 0 for 1 in this game, and it happened in this inning, but he was safe on an error. Yankees lead at 7-6. Frank Baker now is on deck. The pitch. Strike 2 call. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count on Jim Lytle. Yankees have them loaded. Cater, Kenny, and Mercer ready to go. A lot of speed on the base paths, especially on second and first. The 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. Lytle did not swing. He is called out on strike. So there are 2 outs for the Yankees. And the batter will be Frank Baker, who went in to run for Pete Ward in this inning. So he does not come up as a pinch hitter. This is his spot in the batting order. He ran for Pete Ward, and consequently comes to bat at Pete Ward's spot. And Ward got a big pinch hit for the Yankees here in the 9th inning. Sherman goes to the belt, and the pitch, swinging a foul back, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. For Frank Baker, this is his first appearance in the ball game. Baker with a batting average of .217. He has 3 doubles, 1 triple, and 7 RBIs. No balls and 1 strike. Yankees leading at 7-6 in the 9th. They have scored 5. The pitch to Baker is outside, and it's 1-1. Yankees still have them loaded. The Yankees will need a new pitcher. They'll need a new shortstop. It'll probably be Baker. In fact, it will be. Ward pinch hit for Michael, and Baker ran for Ward. The pitch, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sherman goes to the belt. He delivers high, and it's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Frank Baker. pitchers of record right now. Mike McCormick for the Yankees. And Tom Timmerman for the Tigers. To the belt goes Sherman. The base is loaded. The pitch swung on. Fly ball hit into short right center field. Coming on at Stanley. Running hard. He's there and he makes the catch. So the side is retired for the Yankees. 5 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, and 3 men left on. And at the end of 8 1/2, it's the Yankees 7 and the Tigers 6.
The Arco Circle. It's on the north slope of Alaska, 200 miles north of the Arctic Circle. Finding oil there is hard. Getting it out of the ground is almost impossible. The men of Atlantic Richfield do the impossible. They work 12 hours a day in 45-degree below zero temperature. They go through $10 worth of gloves a week and a $30 pair of boots a month. They work in the dark most of the year, and they work hard. Why do they come here to drill for oil? Well, the pay is good, the food's good, and besides, nobody ever did it before. Atlantic Richfield went all the way to Alaska to provide your local Atlantic dealer with the finest Arco petroleum products for your car.
Well, what a surprising development. The Yankees, with 5 runs in the 9th inning, have taken the lead to 7-6. Jack Aker is the new pitcher. Lytle goes to right field. Baker to shortstop. Cater to first base. And Kenny to third base. Aker the pitcher, and McDaniel in the bullpen as we get set for the bottom half of the 9th inning. So the Yankees defensively now, as we look out on the field, Cater at first, Clark at second, Baker at short, Kenny at third. In the outfield is White, Mercer, and Lytle. The catcher is Thurman Munson, and the pitcher will be Jack Aker. And he'll be facing the top of the order, McAuliffe, Stanley, and Kaline. So now the Tigers have to try and come back. Yankees and the Tigers have played some baseball games this year, and we've got more of them coming up. 4 at Yankee Stadium next weekend. Twilight night doubleheader Friday night, an afternoon game Saturday, and then an afternoon game on Sunday. Thurman Munson's throw goes on down to second base, and we get set for the bottom of the 9th inning. McAuliffe will be leading it off. He's 0 for 3 plus a walk. He'll be followed by Stanley, who is 1 for 3 plus a walk, and Kaline, who is 0 for 4. Always dangerous Tigers. Getting set on the bottom of the 9th. The Yankees lead at 7-6. Jack Aker trying for a save here. Mike McCormick, the pitcher of record. Jerry Kenny playing in on the grass, starting against the bunt, and also darting down the line at third. The pitch to McAuliffe is outside for ball 1. Jack Aker with another outstanding year. Jack has won 4, lost 2, a great earned run average of 2.12. He's had 15 saves. He was a loser, however, in his last appearance. A base hit for McAuliffe, right between first and second. And just like that, the Tigers are in business in the 9th inning. Dick McAuliffe singles to right field. He's on at first with nobody out. And it will bring out Mickey Stanley. Stanley is grounded to short, walked, struck out in single. Mickey Stanley will be the batter. And I see Norm Cash is on deck. So Mickey Stanley steps in. Looks as if they're going to take Kaline out for a pinch hitter, Norm Cash. Pitch, Stanley busts the ball, first base side, tough play. Cater up, throws the Clark out at first. And it was a fine play by Cater to get anyone because Aker fell off the mound. Aker slipped and had no chance to get it. The ball was by him. As a very hard bunt by Stanley, and Aker trying to reverse his field fell down. He's all right. He didn't hurt his back at all. And Cater made a fine barehanded pickup and throw to Horace Clark, who was covering first base. So it's a sacrifice, and you score at 3-4. And now Ralph House is coming out of the Yankee dugout. And Norm Cash is pinch hitting for Al Kaline. And how often is a Kaline is taken out for a pinch hitter? Oh, we've just seen it. Ralph House out on the mound. He's going to talk things over with Jack Aker. McDaniel out in the bullpen. Here's the final score for Montreal as Ralph makes up his mind. The Cubs have beaten the Expos 8-4. 8 runs, 12 hits, and no errors. That's all for Aker. 4 runs, 13 hits, and 1 error for Montreal. Kenny Holtzman is the winning pitcher. He's 16-11, and Carl Morton, despite hitting a home run, is the loser. Morton is now, well, they have him down at 16-11 also. So they're both 16-11, Holtzman and Morton. All right, here comes Lindy McDaniel. So Jack Aker goes a third of an inning, and he gives up 1 base hit. He cannot win it, he cannot lose it, and he cannot save it. So Lindy McDaniel comes on to pitch. Jack Aker leads. He gave up the base hit by McAuliffe and then the sacrifice by Stanley. Ralph House figuring that Lindy is especially tough on left-handed batters. But what a left-handed batter he's got to face right now. These fans here have visions of one thing. That ball sailing into the upper deck in right field as Norm Cash steps in. Yankees leading 7-6 in the bottom of the ninth. Tying run at second. And the winning run at the plate in the person of Norm Cash. And right now on Yankee baseball, we pause for station identification.
This is your guy, Hyde. Join me for your kind of music, weekdays, 3 to 7, here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81, WGY Schenectady.
Norman Cash, the batter. He's hitting .267, and he has 24 home runs. Lindy McDaniel, the pitcher. 8 wins, 26 saves, 5 losses, an earned run average of 2.08. And for Lindy, game number 59. So what a spot this is right here. I'll tell you this, the Yankees have lost 2 games here on 9th inning home runs. 1 by Hort and 1 by Freehand. And this guy is murder, Norm Cash. But you never know in baseball. On deck is Jim Northrup. So Kaline is out for the pinch hitter, Norm Cash. 7-6, the Yankees waited to get the lead. They had to get 5 runs in the 9th inning. And now the Tigers have Dick McAuliffe on second with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. What a ball game. McDaniel goes to the belt. Cash is ready. The pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. Lindy will be pitching carefully to Cash. Even though he is the winning run, first base is still open. The next pitch, in there, the fork ball just over the plate for a called strike, and it's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cash, and now umpire Ed Runge wants to look at the baseball. Count is 1-1. Yankees lead at 7-6. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Cash is going for the downs, and he didn't get it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. How often has Lindy McDaniel been in a tight situation for the Yankees this year? And he's in another one right now. The count is 1-2 on Cash. McDaniel comes to the belt. And the pitch. Cash takes high, not by much. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 to Cash. Yankees 7, the Tigers 6 in the bottom of the 9th. Tying run on second and 1 out. McDaniel goes to the belt. Baker ducks in behind McAuliffe. The pitch. Swing. Line drive. Hit out the right field. Coming on his right. Can't get a base hit. Right plays it on a hop. Here comes McAuliffe to the plate. Here comes the throw, and he is out at home. Lytle throws him out. And down the second on the throw goes Cash. What a throw by Lytle. It was perfect. And it was that close at home plate. Thurman Munson a little shaken up, as all McAuliffe could do was to try and crash into him and make him drop the ball. What a ball game. The Yankees with 5 in the 9th, and they hang in there as Jim Lytle throws out Dick McAuliffe. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. And the batter is Jim Northrup. Cash went to second, so the tying runner is still on at second base, and it's not over yet. What a throw by Lytle. And the pitch. High, ball 1. Lytle has got a great arm. We'll say that right now. Just the throws we've seen him make this year for the Yankees. 1 ball and no strike. McDaniel goes to the belt. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. That ball in the dirt, and Northrup went for it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gibbon has come on to pitch for Pittsburgh in the ninth inning. They lead the Mets 2-1. Here it's 7-6 the Yankees. McDaniel to the belt. The 1-1 pitch. High, and it's 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 the count. Tying run on second for the Tigers with 2 outs in the ninth. 2 balls, 1 strike on the batter Northrup. McDaniel to the belt, looks back at Cash. The pitch, Northrup swings, foul ball, out of play. 2-2. Tigers led all the way, and the Yankees got 5 in the top of the ninth. They lead 7-6. And we've seen Jim Lytle throw out Dick McAuliffe at home plate for the second out here in the ninth inning. To the belt, McDaniel, and the pitch. Check swing, it's low. Ed Runge shakes his head. He did not swing. And it's 3-2 on Northrup. On deck is Elliott Maddox. What a ball game this has been at Tiger Stadium. It's all over at Shea Stadium. And Pittsburgh beat the Mets 2-1. The pitch, swing and a miss, and it's all over in Tiger Stadium. Lindy McDaniel strikes out Jim Northrup to end the ball game. Credit McDaniel with a save, and the Yankees win a thriller by a final score of 7-6. What a win for the Yankees, and what a throw by Jim Lytle in right field. As Norm Cash came through with a pinch hit single, but Lytle threw out Dick McAuliffe at home plate. So the Yankees 5 in the ninth, good enough to win it for Mike McCormick. 7 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error for the Yankees. 6 runs, 13 hits, and 2 errors for the Tigers. McCormick, the winner, is 2-0, and Timmerman, the loser, is 6-6. And the save for McDaniel is 27. A great win for the Yankees. They come from behind with 5 in the ninth, and they beat the Tigers by a score of 7-6. 7-6, the Yankees win it. McCormick, the winner, 2-0, and a save for Lindy McDaniel is 27. Once again, the final score, the Yankees 7 and the Tigers 6. And now this is Bob Gamere speaking for Phil Rizzuto and Frank Messer. Our thanks to our statistician and broadcast coordinator, Bill Kane, executive producer, Bob Center, and our engineer, Sandy Alper. Bob Gamere saying goodbye from Tiger Stadium in Detroit.
Network. This Yankee baseball game has been brought to you by Atlantic Richfield and your local Atlantic dealer, home of the famous Red Ball service. Drive in where you see the Red Ball sign. It's your Atlantic dealer's way of assuring you of good service every time.
This is Harry Downey bringing the Upside Down again your way weekdays 10 to 3 here on the Fresh Air Sound of 8081 WGY Schenectady.